Hey guys, welcome to episode 196 of 4PlayerAnimecast. We are smack dab in the middle of spring 2022 reviews. I believe pretty much every series by now that is airing currently is in episode six, six of five. I want to say five or six, right? Not six
Yeah.
and seven. Yeah, it's five and six. So again, we're making good pace. The season is pretty good. Decent amount of stuff to watch, run around, and if you don't have something to watch, you can always go back to Spy Family, right? Again, we did a review on that, literally, the last episode, so you guys can check that out.
Didn't you not like Spy Family though? Wasn't that you?
Didn't I not
No.
like? No,
Huh?
that's not what. No, my what kept saying was that like people are kept on. So whenever I like talk to people or not
You didn't say
talk to
no.
people, I think Spy Family is good. That's okay.
Prove
But
it.
what I
What's the latest
people
episode gonna be about?
Yeah, name every spy.
What was
Name
your
every
favorite?
family.
Yeah, Spy. What was your favorite episode? What just happened in the series?
Oh, I haven't caught up with it yet, unfortunately. But I do like the. I mean, I personally like the. I kind of like it
Who's
more
your
when they just
favorite
focus
spy
on
character
Yeah,
again?
he likes the
the law.
sexualized little
Yeah,
girl
the
that
sexual.
everyone
Yeah.
knows is
Yeah.
apparent in that series.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's blatantly
But
obvious, really.
but the point I wanted to make was that whenever people bring up Spy Family, they always act so surprised, like except for us, like they always act so surprised, like what, like Spy Family, like this is like what happened, like this is I can't believe it's like this good. I'm like, no, it's good, but like of course, like come on, guys, at the point where the anime industry cannot prop up Spy Family, we are fucked. We are so
Yeah,
fucked.
well, listen, in recent history tells me that
The anime industry can fuck a lot of stuff up.
it's
Yeah,
possible.
that
Never
is true.
doubt what the industry can do.
Yeah, that is true. But yeah, I was just like, I don't know, like. This my family has a decent amount of money, It's not like so, fucking the tiki hobos are running the show. So, anyways,
You didn't name your favorite character.
my favorite character.
Hey, you didn't
Yeah.
name the spies or the family.
Yeah.
Yeah, name all the spies. Yeah.
Oh no.
Poison damage.
Spire's got the Rona. You know if you have lasting coughs afterwards, it proves that you've had it.
Yeah, that's true. Or
That's
like,
proof.
Yeah,
yeah,
if you keep coughing,
if you get smallpox, it means you
cough for
have
more
COVID
than
before.
3 days in a row, you had COVID.
XXX Holly is like a name I haven't heard in a hot minute.
Damn.
Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
well,
Okay,
listen,
that's a
name every X. We're doing it.
yeah.
Kiss
Anyways,
X6.
anyways. All right. We actually need to move on. Anyways, again, I am your host, Spire. Here with me are my compatriots Near,
Hey.
Toast,
What?
and Dark.
Hello.
All right. Well, let's start with a very quick 2 weeks. How have your past 2 weeks been, Near?
They've been alright.
Mm-hmm.
I played through Sekiro again.
Mm-hmm.
Because that game's good. And also I've been watching
Is it better than Elden Ring?
yes. But I've been watching a friend play through it for the first time, and I was like, damn, this game's good. I want to play through it again. So I did, and I got the true ending, which I didn't know like basically sets up for a sequel. So that's pretty cool. I hope FromSoft does that.
Elden Ring 2, Dark Souls 6, right? Is
Yeah.
that what it is now? The sixth one?
I
I
don't
mean, a
even know.
bigger Sekiro would be fucking cool.
But yeah. Other than that, the new season of Apex Legends came out. And climbing ranked is absolutely fucked right now because they redid the way RP works, and it takes fucking forever to climb. So that's fucking annoying.
Who's your favorite VTuber in Apex?
I mean, the only VTuber that I watch really that like plays Apex is like she hasn't played Apex in a while. Is Hayama, and I guess Celan. I probably Celan.
Oh,
Celan,
you like Niji
First, you
Ien
gotta
now,
add
huh?
Pekora to that
Yeah.
list now too.
Too
has
bad Pekora is
Pekko
gone.
played Apex?
Pretty sure she picked it up recently as well.
Well, she can't stream it anymore. She's got throat nodules, so she's gonna be
Oh,
taking
really?
a break.
Damn. But yeah. But other than that, not too much. Not too much has been popping off. Just been keeping up with
Okay.
stuff this season. But yeah.
All right. Pretty good, pretty good. What about you, Toast? Past
What's
2
the
weeks?
deal with Futanaris nowadays?
With
I try
what?
to look up something and it's like bam, bam, Futanari, and I'm like, oh,
I
damn.
think that might be
God.
because of what you're
Time
searching.
What
I
do
think that
you
might be because of what
mean
you're
you try
searching.
and look up
'Cause I'm not having any real Futanari problems over
I'm just,
here.
I'm just trying to look up the daily news and bam.
Bam, dicks.
Funari in my
Toast
face.
has Toast has Futanari wear on his fucking computer. Like,
It's like what happened in Ukraine, Russia today, and it's like dicks all over the place. It's like just penis.
You know, I'm searching through the regular websites and I'm like, what do I read today? And then it's like, oh, this one looks good, and then I click it, and then it zooms in on the title page a little bit more. I'm like, oh, that's a dick.
I think if you're, I mean, with regards to like all jokes aside, it's like referring to the edo manga or whatever, but it's like Futanari has been a thing for quite a while now, Toast. It's not like wow, suddenly it's a hot topic. Futanari.
You know when you're scrolling down the
YouTube,
images, and
yeah.
I'm like, oh, this one looks pretty good. Then you scroll down a little bit more by accident. It's like, oh, that's what you're hiding. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, as the image loads in with my dial-up internet, and I get all excited, and then it loads some more, and then I get more excited.
Toast just like scrolling down like hentai or like whatever like hentai site he has, and he's just like, what, this one has a blowjob in it, like what's with all the blowjob hentai these
What the
days?
hell? Oh, sick, gross.
I've never seen this before. It's like,
I don't want
to.
to. I don't want to see that.
but also, you may have hit like an upload spree. You know,
That is
like
also
you
a
may
thing,
That's
have
yeah.
probably it. Because
may
I
have
saw
hit a
like
batch.
Yeah,
I saw like 5 dicks in a row, and I'm like, wait a minute.
there's some.
I mean,
Okay,
if they're
okay.
if they're by the
Something
same
going on
person,
here.
then I'm like, oh, I guess that's fine for you.
It's
But
just
like,
it's
I
like
mean,
it's like
yeah. I mean, it may also just be uploads by like one person too.
it's like a fucking like the Simpsons or like Family Guy bit. It's like he flips on to one thing and it's like dicks. Oh god, and then he goes to the next one. It's also dicks. Like, oh god, he just like scrolls through like 5 to 6 one, 6 of them at the same time.
No, I don't want to see that. No.
He's in the corner, just like getting slapped. Anyways, anything else, Toast? You had in your past weeks?
Asen's next week. Spy, are you coming?
What's next week?
Asen's next week.
What is
Anime
that?
Central
Oh,
2022.
okay.
You coming?
No, I am not.
You didn't. You're saying you didn't reserve your exclusive 1-day ticket for Gargur and Hako's Bales?
Wow.
I am not sure if I will go to a convention or a live convention just
you
for
do?
Is
that.
this gonna be another anime-based super spreader?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I bet that room's gonna smell great.
Did you
By the
not
way-
enter the exclusive lottery that ended yesterday to get to
Or-
the exclusive Hololive what is it?
Hololive meet and greet?
Hololive show.
It's not even a meet and greet. It's literally just
There's
like you're getting a lottery for a show.
there's one on, I believe, next Saturday. That's the one that everyone can get into. Then there's the exclusive one the day after that.
Why
That
is
you
it
had to enter a
exclusive?
lottery. I don't know. I guess it's
Is it
one of
like
the.
one person? If it's like one person, then like that makes sense. But if it's like
It's-
500 people that can get in, it's like it's not really.
Where is Anime Central?
It's Chicago,
Chicago.
really? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's right next to O'Hare Airport, so basically Chicago.
Chirac.
But yeah, I'm guessing the lottery is for the exclusive handshake and meet and greet, one-on-one with the
With
talent.
who?
How do you handshake a VTuber?
You handshake the screen.
That's fucking sad, bro.
I mean, There
They
was
have
one with
actors in morph suits with screens strapped to their face.
they've done this previously with other Hololive members in Japan, so I guess that might be why they had the exclusive lottery for this slot. I guess like, oh, you can talk to
You stick your hand behind a curtain, and it gets
And
shook
someone
by
will shake it.
Yes, someone will shake your hand.
wouldn't
No,
you
no, no. It's like it's even better. It's like they, you know how in those like like the glory hole thing, but it's like instead of sticking out the penis, you stick out the hand. You just like
Yeah,
there's like a random
there you
hand,
go.
and you're like, I don't know who this is. I'm shaking it though. I'm gonna pretend it's Gargura. I'm gonna shake the hand.
Wow.
wouldn't you
Gargura's
want to
hand
enter
sure
that
is
lottery?
big.
And Harry.
Wouldn't you
And
want to
strong.
enter that lottery just for the exclusive one-on-one chance to talk to Gargura for what 3 minutes?
No.
You have no. It's like the lottery is
Yeah, it's
both.
like
You have
you
to.
know that picture of the guy holding his steering wheel with like the fucking
Yeah.
veins
What the?
exploding out
What
of
this
his
veins just?
Here,
It's like that pops through.
here,
Yeah,
I
that's the
linked
fucking hand that
the
shakes
meet and greet.
It's like you have to win the lottery just to
God.
get into the meet and greet, but then you also have to gamble on the fact that it might be Gargoyle or not based on who you're. It's like, oh my god. Anyways, it's like can I get an autograph? And it's just like a random like completely just like random scribble with like stars all over it. It's like,
Well,
oh
yeah,
okay.
because then like two arms come out from behind the curtain.
Yeah,
You clearly
exactly.
can't see what they're writing on.
Yeah.
I
Anyways.
mean, Gargura's cool, 4 million subs. I mean, but you got to entice me more with just more than Hakos and Gargura. I mean, like, why not Tokino Sora? Why not someone from ID? Why is it just 2 English members?
There's probably some, logistics and scheduling kind of
You gotta
stuff.
fly them
Maybe.
out
But,
to Chicago, you know?
Maybe because
Yeah.
they suck.
yeah. And
Maybe
they're
because Asen
already and
sucks.
Japan is
Yeah.
only like just now like really relaxing the travel restrictions as is.
You know they're not flying there really, right? You can just put them on a screen, so they can just stream from home or at the Hololive office. What's the deal with that? Why you shafting Asen? Because Asen sucks? I guess so. But yeah,
Anyway.
that might be what I'm doing next week. Maybe,
Uh-huh.
Okay. Pretty
maybe
good.
I don't know. Do I have
Alright.
to? I mean, well, I'm
Oops.
should I enter for the raffle?
Yeah, let us know how big
Yeah,
Does it
Gargura's
actually
hand
how
cost
is.
big and
money?
strong.
Does the raffle actually cost money? Like
I don't
beyond
know.
the tournament fee?
No, but pre-registration's already over, so I can't tell you.
Oh, okay. I guess that doesn't matter then. Anyways.
Also, I believe C hates VTubers now, especially
Now,
Indonesian VTubers.
Who hates VTubers?
Southeast Asia.
Southeast
Oh,
Asia.
okay, okay. Yeah,
There's
I don't
been
believe that for a second.
there's been lots of bot attacks on ID VTubers where I believe there's porn bots with
Mhm.
not safe for work images that show up and spam their chat, leading them to be their channels to be terminated for porn. It's been happening for a while now. And Kobo Canero, the new Hololive ID member, got hit once a couple days ago. Then they brought her channel back, and then she got terminated again. I don't know if she's back right now. Let me check. Yeah, so she's been hit with the ban termination twice.
Cool.
Yeah, the thing, again, there's a reason why I've always been hating on the VTuber fan communities, and this is one of the myriad of reasons. So, it is what it
Nope,
is.
she's still gone. That's her second ban after 500k subs.
Yeah.
And it's not just Kobo, but it hit Mika Melatica of Nijisanji, but she's back, and then some other ID VTubers. So people are definitely saying there's something fucky going on here.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
It's probably
I
gonna
don't speak Indonesian.
it's probably gonna become uglier before it gets better. It's not unexpected, so to say. But yeah. Anyways, thank you very much, Toast, for your past 2 weeks. What about you, Dark?
I have
Hold
also.
on 1 second. Let me ask this real quick.
Hmm?
What's the? You know, there's the feet fetish, right? People have fetishes with
Yeah.
feet.
Yes.
Some people have fetishes with the butthole. And I'm like,
Sure.
okay. What's the deal with tickling fetish nowadays? Because those have been
Tickling?
popping up too, and I'm like, well, what?
Nowadays, I
What's
mean,
this?
You
it's
keep
also
saying
being a thing.
those things have been popping up, but it's like,
Yeah, new fetish
what are
just
you
dropped.
putting in to find that?
I just scroll down the newly uploaded. You know,
Again,
sometimes
I think it might be an upload spree, as Dark
Yeah,
said.
it's got to be
But
just
the
upload
fetishes
sprees,
are
man.
definitely have been a thing since the dawn of civilization, I think. So
it's like I'm scrolling through like the first 20 to 30 pages, and suddenly, bam, tickling. I'm like, what is this?
But you mean like a spree of tickling series, not just one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, well, again,
that's just that's just an upload spree. Like even on like Danburu and stuff, you'll get times where like 30 images will get uploaded at once, and they're all like, what would you say, like thematically similar. So to
Aspire,
speak.
you seem to know about this. Tell me more. What's the fetish
about
involved
the
in this?
fact that tickling is a fetish.
Yeah,
I
tell
only
me
know
more.
Yeah,
About,
that
what's the
tickling is
deal
a
with it,
fetish.
Spire?
Yeah.
We need you to
Yeah. Why
psychologically.
do I have a tickling fetish? Yeah,
We
exactly.
need you to
What's
psychologically
with your
break
tickling
down
fetish? Yeah.
what the deal is, like what's behind this.
Actually, the thing is, I really don't want to go into this tangent, but it's like I'm actually curious as well. Like I actually don't know why tickling is a real fetish in the
It's
first place. Like, is an actual like
I
It's
read one.
domination,
I
but
mean,
it's more polite.
yeah, it's
more
like
like dress code kind of thing.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if there's really like a
It's like
fetish for
physiological.
tickling people, but like I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure the
It's like
whole
soft
like
SM.
There's
I'm
a
pretty sure
tickling
the
tag, so yeah.
well, I mean, obviously, if someone is being tickled,
It's
there
adjacent to
there
piss.
is
That's not a
tickling,
thing. That's
there's
not a.
tickling happening. But
Wait.
I'm pretty sure
Well, Cecian does have a point because I
I'm pretty
read
sure
one.
it's similar to like the fetish of just like not being in control, right? Like
Yeah.
you're
It's
losing,
like
you're like
it's
somebody
like
else
dom
has
stuff.
control
Dom
over
stuff.
you,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But it's like obviously uh with
Very
SM
soft.
stuff, like obviously some people don't like being hurt.
Well, also there's like a difference between SM, which is like sadomasochism,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
like dom sub, where it's like the general
Um,
control, as you said, and
yeah,
and even in that, it's like there's like the scale where it's like you could go full like leash and collar kind of thing, or like whatever, but then you could also just do tickling, and I think that's what you're
yeah,
referring to, right?
it's like a softer version, but
But yeah, Cecian brings
yeah,
up a good
it's similar
point.
to that.
The one that I read led to peeing, so I'm like, oh, is this why they
Why
like
were
it?
you reading it though?
I was interested. I was like, huh.
Okay,
Dude,
all right,
he needs to do his research. He's got to get to the bottom of this.
bro. I was
gotta
just
know
curious,
what-
bro. I'm
I
just.
gotta
Get
know.
away from me, bro.
I gotta know what's going on here.
Anyways,
No, don't tickle me, don't.
I mean, if you see a wiener one for your first time, I'm like, oh, I might as well read this and check it out.
I
You
don't.
can
I
judge,
don't. I don't have that reaction. So
but
Anyways.
Yeah,
Nia,
because
this
you've
is
just seen so many.
you
yeah.
can't Nia, you can't be the guy. You can't be the guy who condemns something just because you don't
Yeah,
like just
he who
because
is
you have
without
a revulsion.
I
who is
think I
without sin.
can. I think I can be that guy. I think
You
I can
have you
be the
have
guy that sees something and goes, "Oh, no, I don't want to read that."
Nia,
I think I can
you
be that
have
guy.
near you have to read it once to make your honest judgment, make an honest judgmental opinion on it. Otherwise, it's fake. You can't be like that one guy who said, "Oh, I haven't watched Kumamiko, but let me put my input on this."
Yeah, I mean,
Not fair.
look, near.
You
For
have
instance,
to know.
if somebody put dog poop on a plate in front of you,
Yeah,
I would
have
just
to-
have to
you have
taste
to,
it. I'd have to
yeah,
give it. I'd have
you
to give it
don't
a
know.
taste
It could be a dish. It
because
could be,
otherwise it could be like really good. I don't know.
you can't judge it by just going through the tickle fetish Reddit threads like you bruise daily. Okay,
you have to
Yeah.
prove to
you
yourself
need to
in
see
your
the real
heart of
thing.
hearts. You have to prove to yourself in the heart of hearts that it's bad.
You have to do it
Yeah.
without a shadow of a doubt. Near that.
Yeah,
That way
it's like
you'll
those
feel
people. It's like those.
better.
It's like those kids that are like going through puberty and like, wait a minute, am I gay? and then they watch, and then they have to watch gay porn and be like, oh,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
you know,
and they go,
and then they know.
and then they keep watching.
Yeah.
Like, hey, wait a minute.
and then they watch like 8
Wait a
more
minute.
just to be sure, you know.
Yeah, I gotta double check.
Anyways, thank you, Toast, for your 2 weeks, and Dark, your 2 weeks, please.
What's up with this gay thing that's going on lately?
Yeah, it could be like the Snyder cut. You know?
And the fetish. Yeah. It's a fetish.
It's like,
what?
listen, like we added 3 more hours to this, so now it gets good.
Yeah.
I gotta be sure.
Dark, 2 weeks, please.
My 2 weeks. Catching up on Kaguya-sama season 3, because that's been going quite well. Very good show. Haven't really been checking out it. Haven't checked out anything new because I'm already keeping up with like 5 different series right now, something like that. In non-anime news, I'm getting through The Witcher season 2, and that's been good. But also like
I still gotta watch that.
fucking Henry Cavill killing shit, like it's not gonna not be good. And he's a good Geralt, so it's that's been cool. I've also been playing Apex, been getting some, sick fucking, what are they called when you win?
Huh?
What's it called when you win in Apex? Is it just champion? It's like really boring,
Yeah,
right?
you win.
Yeah, there's no dubs, like it's no.
Yeah, there's no chicken
fucking
dinners. Sorry.
Yeah, no chicken dinner. Yeah, chicken dinner.
What's Fortnite's? Fortnite's is
One victory royale.
yeah, Victory
Yeah.
Royale. Yeah. Yeah, Apex needs to step that up. They need to change something else. They need to like have big text that comes up that says "You are a legend" or something.
No, it's you are the Apex legend.
Yeah, you are now the Apex.
Yeah.
But yeah, yesterday, got drunk, won a few games, had cracked aim while intoxicated with a wingman, so that was cool. That game fun. But yeah, as far as anime goes, nothing really new. Kaguya-sama season 3, keeping up with that because it's really good and has sick EDs this season so far. So
Okay, pretty good. And I guess thank you, Dark, again for your 2 weeks. I mean, I haven't done too much. Again, kind of relaxing a little bit on the side, watching a lot of the new anime kind of coming out. Again, some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about coming up. And that's pretty much it. I've been.
Spire, let me ask you one thing, Spire.
Yeah.
Yeah, was it you that's been playing the new time ending game, or was that me? It was me. But weren't you also
Why would
playing
you forget if it's me? If you wait,
Was
if you yourself,
was that me that did that, or was that you?
who am I?
that did that?
Where am I? What's my name again? It's
fuck,
like-
dude, what was that? What was that clown politician that did that? Where they were like, he claimed to be like a soldier or some shit, and then they were like, well, actually, he just heard a story about someone who was that, and he sometimes thinks that he was the person who did that.
What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah, there was some.
he actually
there was some
self-hypnotized
politician
himself into
running for
believing he
president
was
that
liquid.
had that.
No, he
That
gets
was- that
possessed
pulled
sometimes.
that
It's like
shit.
Shaman King, where it's like you sometimes get possessed by the spirit, and you just believe that you're the ghost or the spirit. Oh my god. But yeah, I haven't done too much. Actually, God, I freaking want to get back. Or I've been reading a couple of series, like mostly just like again slice of life kind of stuff. Like there's one it's like 女の子が抱いちゃダメですか? Or stuff like that. Or a lot of like yeah, more like slow slice of life kind of stuff. But other than that, it's been pretty relaxing. Anyways, with that aside, we should probably move on quickly. And first up on the chopping block, we have Toast. What do you have for us today?
What?
Your series,
What you
please.
got, boy?
All right. So, you want me to talk about the new Taimon anime?
No.
No.
Why not?
I believe you have a series that you're actually you need to cover, sir.
You know what, Spire? You know what? How many isekais have I covered this season? What episode is this?
I think you've
3.
only covered like one other one, right?
No.
Um, 3?
What did I cover this season? I forgot.
I don't know.
Oh no!
You
Last time
covered
you
the
covered
greatest demon lord.
Tsubaki.
Oh yeah.
No,
And
well,
So
then
you
Tsubaki
covered.
is
So
an
this is
isekai,
your
but
second,
this is your second, yeah.
which means you got a
y-
lot, boy. You got a
you
lot to
know
get
what?
through.
You know what? There's so many isekais this season. I should just give them all up. I should Yamemasu.
Uh-huh.
God damn it! All right, and that leads us to the series that you're covering, which is sir.
Post?
I thought you were gonna say the title.
Oh, okay. It is Yuusha Yamemasu, or I'm quitting Heroine. What I believe what studio is it again?
I don't know.
Ghost?
I forgot because I'm quitting this.
It
It's
is Flying Dog, apparently.
no, it's EMT squared.
Oh, okay,
It's the
okay.
same. You can tell by the art style. It's the same series, the same studio that did Renai Boku and Assassin's Pride
I can see the Rene Bokun
and
stuff. And
Kuma Kuma Bear. And Kumamiko. But Kumamiko didn't have this art style. Cheat, slow life pharmacist drugstore did though.
yeah, no, I can see that. Yeah, okay. All right. So EMT squared. Mainly just Kuma Bear, a couple of other like isekai kind of stuff. Chiki. Oh, they also did Cute High Earth Defense Club, the Boebu kind of one. They did a couple of other stuff. Ameiru Kokoa, some smaller things.
That's all.
But anyways, okay,
Oh, yeah.
keep going.
So the series premise is the hero. What's his name? Leo. Leonhardt. Leo.
Yes,
Leo.
Lee. Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
Leo Demon Heart. Leo Demon Heart.
Wow.
Demon Heart. What? I thought it was just Leo.
That's his first
Okay.
name. He has a last name.
I thought he made that up. Oh, spoiler. Okay. Anyway. So the hero Leo, you know, it's the same old typical backstory. He's been entrusted by the king, like, oh, hero, there's a demon lord. Here's three other party members: a mage, a priest, an elf archer, a, a barbarian guy. Go defeat the demon lord. And he's like, oh, okay. But it turns out his party members suck, so he just kicks them all out, and he's like, I'll just do this by myself. So then he storms the demon lord's castle and beats her up, and then you know a couple months later he goes back to the beat up castle and he's like, you're recruiting to rebuild your demon army, right? Let me join. And two of the four generals are like, okay, and the others are like, no, and the demon lord's like, no, and he's like, damn, I must. He's like, but you're hiring and your army sucks. And so they put him through the ringer of well, so far the entire series is just, I know I defeated your demon generals and all, but let me make it up to you by proving how capable I am as as an assistant to help you rebuild a demon army. So that's basically what this series is.
so in a more like abstract.
He stopped being a hero. Now he's trying to help the demon lord build her throne, I guess.
Okay.
Because you know the typical reason why
Yeah.
this happened is
The
like,
whole, like,
oh, the
the citizens
heroes.
hate me.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
I,
I saw
I'm
a little bit of it. Yeah.
I'm
It's like
so
they're afraid of me.
if I'm strong enough to destroy the demon lord by myself, I'm the most powerful being on the planet, so everyone's scared of me. So he's all like, humanity sucks. Why did I try to
Yeah.
save humanity? I'll just join the demon side because they seem chill. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
So on a more abstract level, this is a relatively episodic series with event kind of like quote unquote like tiny bits of character development
So
and
far,
progress.
every episode has been focused on one of the 4 demon generals.
Hmm.
So far, like
Yeah, so
first
as I said, like bits of character development and
one
progress, but it's like
episode is with
yeah.
Succubus lady helping her with tax. Another one was with the wolf girl. Another one's with the dragon strongman general, and then one with the demon lord. And I'm like, oh, this is pretty episodic so far.
Yeah. So yeah, as I said, it's like do you expect there to be as I said, a little like eventual acceleration, I guess, of the character progression and maybe like he's gonna mac with the demon lord? Or do you expect it to be pretty episodic all the way through?
You know how I mentioned that every episode is basically focused on one member of the main cast because
Right,
the
right,
cast
right.
is pretty small.
Mhm.
We're about 6 episodes into the series,
Mhm.
and that's the halfway point. And that's when the series starts to. Well, so far the series has mostly been slice of life, right? It's pretty chill.
Yes.
Not much conflict going on. But then episode 6 is when you start to see a whole new story pop out of this.
Okay.
It's like, okay, well, here's everyone's backstory. And then episode 6, well, here's this hero's backstory. And
Mhm.
it's, I believe, a complete tonal shift of the entire series that some people might not like.
Well, is it? I mean, if it's tonal shift that I'm predicting, it's probably just like, oh, but then he kind of does like a second wake up call where it's like he's having fun with quote unquote fun with the demon lords, but then it's like a wake up call where he's just like he comes back to the realization that the humans still
No, it's
don't
not
like
that.
him.
It's not
It's
that.
not that.
It's a hero's backstory kind of thing. Let me just
Oh,
say
okay.
that most every character here pretty shallow. Like, oh,
Yeah.
here's the wolf girl. She's a demon lord general because she's strong, and her character arc is you have to teach her how to be more, uh, adult like, and because she's a little kid, so you got to make sure she's an actual demon general in the end. And oh, there's the elf succubus lady, and she's the secretary, so she's overly swamped with work, and her character arc is, oh, I have to learn how to become a manager and delegate some tasks to all my subordinates, so I'm not swamped with work every day, that kind of stuff. And then, I mean, that's pretty shallow in a way. It's like
But
what
the
you
thing
can
is, it's like
you can
with a
fill it out in one
backstory.
episode, and it's like, okay, your character development is done. Move on to the next one.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's like, but the thing is, the backstories aside, I'm predicting that it's not really going to be. I mean, any sort of development from this sort of premise is usually just like, oh, the demons have their better sides and can be, just as good, if not better than humans. And he's gonna have some more interactions, and then he's gonna start developing maybe like a romantic relationship with the demon lord, and that's a very like standard route to go to, right? So, do you think that that sort of thing might happen? I mean, in my opinion, it's just like I don't know about you guys, right? But it's like how do I say this? It's have you guys in general seen a premise like this, right? This is not like a super uncommon premise, right? You guys, I mean, like Nier maybe is like not as much into isekai stuff, but he's like kind of skimmed through some of that stuff, right? But it's like, do you guys know of any specific stories where it's like it kind of started out like this, like very like, oh, by the way, the heroes got betrayed by the blah blah blah, and then it turned into something other than, oh yeah, the humans are shitty. It's like the demons were just portrayed to be bad, but they can be just as morally good as humans all along. And it's just, depending on the person. Have you guys seen any like story that kind of deviates from, the author kind of whacking that over your head repeatedly?
No.
Like, yeah, it's the low hanging fruit, right? It's very easy to just go to, but I don't know what else could be done, but I wish there was,
But
maybe
yeah,
something else.
back to what I was saying. It's
Mhm.
pretty divided. I searched on it. I've seen some comments like, "Wow, I thought this series was one thing, but now it's suddenly turned dark and serious. This sucks. I'm not gonna read it anymore." And I'm like, but it
I
was pretty
mean,
boring before this big change. I kind of like it this
also,
way.
I want to say,
World
like,
building.
it's not that dark. Like the backstory kind of stuff, it's like I don't know. It's like it's like saying people who are playing in the kiddie pool suddenly got thrown in the regular pool, and now they're like, "Oh, everything is so deep now." It's like,
Well,
I don't
I
know.
can't believe Ain's Momonga was a bad guy this whole time. And I'm like,
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what? He's doing bad things?
he killed that one chick. I can't. He's
Big
irredeemable
skeleton is
now.
evil. Oh my god.
Or like Shield Hero, it's like he actually slapped the woman. It's like, oh my god, this is so bad now. It's very. I think everything is relative. But yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
that.
How does it look? I mean,
Mhm.
it's EMT squared. It literally looks like all the other series that I've listed, and with that same art style.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, I'm used to it by now. I guess it's fine. I
Okay.
don't have any real qualms about it.
Okay.
And
Any
I
last?
realize that I've usually been saying like, oh, this series sucks, or whenever I come to like, oh, how does it look? I mean, it looks fine. I
Yeah, I mean,
guess
for
it's
this
either
kind of stuff,
fine.
it's like, yeah.
There's too many series that look okay. I'm
Well,
like,
it's
I'm not
the
really
studios are
impressed.
doing what they
But
do. You know
fine.
what I mean? They're trying to make the monies.
They're not trying to be a breakthrough in animation like that one that like oh this is definitely no UFO table
I mean,
or
studios aren't exactly picking up isekai to be like, yeah, like this
Time to
is,
break new ground.
yeah, this is the one that's gonna fucking, we're gonna really push. Like,
Show these people. I mean, even
yeah,
Tact Opus had a little bit of a hard time, and they had much
yeah.
more.
what is the best looking isekai series?
Best looking
Um,
isekai?
probably fucking
Mushoku Tensei?
yeah, Mushoku
Yeah.
Tensei. Like,
Yeah.
I thought it's probably the same. Sometimes I wish they should make an isekai in fully 3D, just like that one Crunchyroll show. I keep forgetting.
Season 2 of Beastars will be an isekai, and Nier will love it.
yeah,
Anyways,
I don't think
annual.
people will like season 2. Wait, has there been a season 2?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
Okay.
don't think people will like season 3 of
Three. Sorry.
Beastars.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Anyways.
But yeah,
Any last
sound
words?
it's fine.
Okay. I mean, the
Uh,
opening, ED, nothing stand out or anything like that?
uh, I don't think so. Who did the
Okay.
opening? And let me see.
I'm pretty sure it was like it's like and before it becomes like Supercell, and you're like, wait, what? Wait a minute.
Who's Minori Suzuki? I don't know who that
Minori.
is.
Oh, Minori Suzuki is I fuck. I keep forgetting. Okay, wait. I know that she does.
I
No,
don't know
that's
who
not
this
it.
person is. She doesn't sound important. She's probably Macross Delta. Who's that? What is that series?
I feel like I remember her doing more stuff than this, though. Okay.
She did
Anyways.
Macross Delta.
I might only remember her because of Idolmaster. But yeah, anyways.
And then whatever. That's the opening. Now
Huh.
Toyama. Who's that? I don't know who that is. That's the ending.
Yeah, exactly.
No one knows who Now Toyama is. But yeah, I guess this series is fine. I don't. Whatever, man. It's like if you come in here thinking it's a happy-go-lucky comedy series, that's a slice of life. Well, you're dead wrong because you get that tonal shift on episode 6, and it's like, oh, finally we're gonna have some plot, serious plot, as to why
Fine,
the
it's a
hero
good plot.
wants to join the Demon Lord's army, and like what the hero, what entails a hero, what
Mhm.
is, you know, is this the trope where where it turns the idea of a hero on its head, and it's like, oh, this is what a hero is to humanity exactly.
Mhm.
To put it in fake terms, what is a hero? Is a hero counter guardian, or is it? I don't know what I'm saying. Whatever.
Seigi no Mikata,
Eh,
dude.
Essentially, are they just supposed to go along with like the humans and just do whatever
Is
is
a hero
labeled as good?
born?
Exactly.
Is a hero created by the will of the planet? I don't know. I guess.
Yeah, it's like that quote about leaders. Like some people are born to lead and stuff like that. Um,
I thought the
and
quote was about genes.
no, that is not that is not what the quote is
Yeah,
about.
it was. It was about recessive genes versus dominant genes.
No.
What? That is
Spire,
no,
have
that
you
is
never
not.
played
Was that fucking Metal Gear? Like,
Yeah, Spire, have you never
Mhm.
played Metal Gear? The whole
No.
conflict of MGS1 was recessive versus dominant genes. Whether
Yeah,
you're
but that's not what that quote is from.
Yeah, that's not what the quote is.
well, it's mine now. It's whether you were
Yeah, it's my quote now.
whether you had whether you had the perfect genes to become Big Boss, or whether you were molded into the role of being Big Boss.
I mean,
Yeah,
anyways, thank you,
Big
Toast, for
Chungus. But yeah, what's my score? You know what? I'm gonna rate it. I'll rate it a 7.7
7,
out of 10.
7.7. Okay,
It's
pretty good.
fine.
It's okay.
It's maybe the top 3, 4, 3. How many isekais are in this season? I don't
There's like
know.
there's a couple, but it's not. I don't think it's as many as like in some of the previous seasons. But yeah,
I guess I
um,
find I'll just say it's one of the top 5 isekai of this series or this season.
I don't even know if there are actually five
I don't know.
isekais.
There's 5 of them this season, but
Isekai? There's probably close at the very least. There's a
Yeah,
lot
it's
of
close, but I don't
isekai
think.
this
Yeah, I don't know if
season.
it's over 5. Yeah,
3,
it's like best 5
4.
out of 5 isekai. It's like well,
There's 5. No, there's 5, 6. Or,
yeah, it's top 5
oh,
in those 5 isekai, as you
mm,
said.
all right.
yeah. So yeah, top 5 of this.
It's top
Yeah.
5
So
out of
I'm
the 5
right. I'm
isekai you
right.
can
There's
watch.
5 isekai. Not counting sequels. So yeah, top 5.
Uh-huh.
Should you watch it? Might as well. Why not?
It is in the top 5, so yeah. Anyways, thank you, Toast, again for helping to cover Yuusha, Yamemasu, or I'm Quitting Hearing, series by EMT Squared. I believe it is a light novel, web novel
It
original.
is.
So, yep. Anyways, that being said, let's move on. And I'm covering another one of those sort of more hyped up series of the season. One of the stuff that is probably appearing on your YouTube feeds under like the anime clips, and then that one channel that has like at the beginning it's like doo-doo-doo, like the like
You probably have like you've probably seen multiple videos that have like the fucking
The
blue
angry eye.
gradient shocked face
Yeah,
emoji in the
exactly.
title.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways,
what's
a
your
lot of
what's your favorite meme, Spire? Mine's the Ikemen one.
what do you mean?
Wow, did you even watch this series?
What do you mean by meme? As in like for the
The one that's
series?
been the one that's been spreading around so often. It's like, wow, who's that hot dude? And they're like, dude, it's your girlfriend. Chill. And I'm like, oh,
Is that
what?
that's pretty good.
You've never seen the memes and edits before?
No, I
What?
don't. I don't usually go try to find
What you don't
Western
you don't
maybe.
visit the fucking shitty anime Reddit memes? What?
I apologize. I'll
Me,
try to study up more up on anime memes next time we talk about our series.
you've do you, how old are you again, Spire? Are you like 40?
No, I'm still in my 20s right for now.
Oh,
Wait,
oh,
oh.
okay, boomer. Damn.
What the fuck is this?
You've never seen these You've never seen these edits?
Oh no, I've seen the scene, but I didn't know it was like a meme. Like I didn't I didn't know like this
There's like
became a meme.
500. I got like 500 images for you. Or 500 images that I've seen, man.
I can see now that could become a meme, but I had not seen the meme before this.
Have you seen
So,
this one of how about here? Here's this one. Have you seen this one? If you haven't seen this one, then it proves you haven't watched the series and you're a liar.
What the fuck? Anyways,
Oh yeah, what series you watch? Spire?
so I have. Well, thank you very much, Toast. I'm reviewing Kawaii dake janai Shikimori-san, or Shikimori is not just a cutie. This is a manga original. It is being done by none other than Dogakobo of Yuru Yuri fame, as well as I believe what did he do recently? Oh, I forgot. Dogakobo actually did another. Fuck, they did. Oh no, they did Assistance. I was about to say, like, I was about to panic. Like, another was not a good series, and I was like, like, but yeah, they did.
What's the worst Dogakobo series?
Well,
I had to think of
It's
it.
probably another.
Oh well, yeah. There's that. I would say worst in recent memory, off the top of my head, is the Maid one.
Yeah.
Maid one. There's like 3.
The Maid one with
The annoying
lolly,
one. Uza Maid.
Yeah, Uza
What-
Maid.
You mean with the really
also
buff
did
chick?
Seoyaki
I thought that was good.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't like the audio
Uza Maid kind of
visuals from the
falls
audio.
apart. Like,
Yeah. He also
quick.
Dark also didn't like some of the audio visuals in the later episodes, I believe, right? I think.
Yeah, I mean the audio visuals start to like kind of crumble, and then like just the
Kobo also
premise
did
itself.
Dumbbell. That's okay. I forgot.
Are you saying you guys didn't like Gabriel Dropout and Umaru-chan?
Gabriel Dropout, yes. Umaru-chan is another. Let's see. Oh yeah, they did too, man. God, that's such a long time ago. Anyways,
Kino AF.
Yeah, exactly. Dogakobo, you guys should probably know this series. The director isn't as experienced. He's been doing a lot of assistant work. The first major project that he's been doing, or he did, this is Ito Ryota, he's mainly from the animation side department. The first major direction work that he did was actually My Senpai is Annoying, so he did pretty decent work with that. And now Shikimori is not just a cutie is his second major project. He brings along a lot of veteran people, mainly from Dogakobo. My senpai is annoying, and a little bit of what was it again? He did some of the new game people. Some of the new game people. So
Was that new game good? I remember it kind of being good.
New game was quite good. New game was quite good. Audio visuals were also quite good. But yeah, he brings along a lot of the music and animation people from Yuri Yuri, stuff like that. A lot of those veterans. So he's surrounded by good people. This is a pretty solid team as is. Voice actress, a mix of old, new. The veterans here: Onishi Saori, Hitakarina, Okamoto Nobuhiko, Shimono Hiro. Doing a lot. Bringing up the rear. And then there are some newcomers and stuff like Umeda Shuichiro, who does the
Who's Onishi Saori? I don't know who this is.
Onishi Saori is so first.
Isn't she the main character in Ari Furita? I know that one.
just kill me, man. Just fucking kill me. But yeah. Anyways, so one thing I do want to point out is what was I saying? Oh yeah, so sorry. Some of the new people here in Umeda Shuichiro, who's doing the male protagonist. He does like this sort of more effeminate role in Izumi, who's like the main character. And I believe there are a couple of other ones. Is he like the only real main newcomer? Oh, maybe he might be the only real newcomer. Yeah, everybody else is pretty veteran. So yeah. So the male protagonist is pretty much the only male main newcomer in terms of voice acting, and I just want to say again, I discussed this with like Dark and the others before the podcast, but if you go to my anime list, so you can view the voice actors pages right in my anime list, and you can also leave comments. Why you can leave comments, God only knows, but what is it? People are like, "Oh, this stuff is like he voiced all this fucking cringe character and it's so icky." And I stopped watching these animes because he does these icky voice acting. His voice acting is so bad. For the first time, I actually quit watching an anime. I'm like, or like his voice has me cringe. Blah blah blah. I'm uh, like you guys realize like this is his role, right? Like this is what he does. It's like if Leo DiCaprio acts out like a white slaver, it's like white slave owner. That doesn't mean like he's racist. You know?
I don't
Uh,
know, man.
Yeah, it does.
Why
Yeah, it
did it?
does. Why would he say yes to
he
that role
does.
otherwise?
Yeah,
He does.
yeah.
Because he said
She
the N word.
is. Yeah,
So
exactly. So it's like it's very I like
If
come on.
if he Inspire, if he's so bad, why did it take him so long to get an award?
Yeah, that's true. That is
What
true.
wasn't it an Emmy, right? Why did it take him so long to get an Emmy?
Yeah, that legacy of that just haunted him forever. The infamy. Anyways, going back to the actual general sort of story, Shikimori-san's not just Cutie. I believe I haven't read the manga yet, but it's not a yonkomo, right? It's an actual
It's
like proper manga.
mostly.
Is it an actual yonkomo or is it an actual proper like manga, like full like couple pages and stuff like that?
It's usually like I said this before. It's usually like 1 to 2 pages per chapter. It's pretty short.
Oh, okay. So it's like a pretty short manga, and it's mainly based
But then
around.
it turns into, I guess maybe due to the popularity, it does turn into an actual manga.
Oh, so Pio in the chat says it started as a series of short stories on Twitter
Yeah,
and then became a film. Okay.
yeah.
So the general idea is there's a sort of more like pretty average, mediocre kind of like.
I can't believe that, man. That's moving up in the world. You're thinking you start from some small Twitter pages and then full serialization and then anime. Dang, this is just like Miyako-san.
It's yeah. There's a couple of series that are. I kind of wish the nun like cartoon became an anime. That'd be really cool, honestly. But
Which
anyways,
one?
the
Oh,
one with like
divas, little
yeah,
nuns.
yeah. But anyways, that's not here nor there. So Shikimori-san, it's about this sort of more average, run of the mill, kind of more feminine, not that strong or super handsome or anything like that. Regular male protagonist, named what is this here? Izumi-san, and he has a girlfriend who is super cute, super handsome. Talk of the town, called Izumi, or not Izumi, sorry, Shikimori, and she, is like really cute. Everybody loves her, but whenever Izumi gets in trouble, and he often does because he's like unlucky, like the chalkboard eraser will sometimes like be flung towards him because of a
He
series of unfortunate
the
incident.
dude.
Like
Yeah, he's what's the term for this guy?
uh
Uh,
ponkotsu, like kind of like clumsy.
no.
What do you think?
You know what's the protect? You know, in To Love Ru, what does Rito have? What's it called?
Lucky Skebe? Are you lucky?
Yeah.
like lucky pervert? Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
he's an
yeah,
unlucky
yeah.
kid guy.
So
Sure.
he's unlucky. He's clumsy. He has all these kind of traits, and whenever those things happen, Shikimori-san comes to the rescue. And when she comes to the rescue, she unknowingly, subconsciously puts on this very cool kind of dashing heroine face, ikemen face that you see on the poster as well as you see in the scene. And that's part of why Izumi is in love with her, essentially. And that's sort of the repetitive sort of shtick of the series. And that's pretty much how the series goes. It's very
What's the derogatory term for a wimpy boy? What's the term?
uh, beta male is what you're talking about? What are you talking about?
Is that the one? Is that what we're gonna call him now?
Soy boy.
I'll just call him effeminate. I don't think there's really.
Like,
Yeah, I don't need to go into like, oh,
I-
he's such a fuck beta, blah blah blah. Like whatever.
mean-
He's not even the focus of the story. So it's like I want to get into.
to be fair, he asked her out, so that's some pretty Giga Chad moves right there.
Yeah, I mean that's probably like part that it's gonna be part of the later development, right? Like that's sort of like, oh, he's brave enough to actually like really kind of interact with Shikimori-san and stuff like that. But that being aside, I think going into the story, Izumi honestly isn't really the focus of the story. Oh, the value point of the series.
Who cares about him? This
Yeah,
series is all
exactly.
about Shikamori-san being
The
an Ikemen,
reason
and I'm
why
like, damn.
Izumi is there is to act as Watson to Shikimori-san's Holmes, right? So he is the sort of the
What?
chronicler, right? He's a second person perspective. He is the viewer, observer of Shikimori-san. That's sort of like his first calling.
Are
And
you,
two,
I thought you were gonna say like, oh, he's supposed to represent I guess in this
viewer?
place, the viewer, and I'm like, no,
yeah, no, that's not.
I'm not that
no.
weak. I'm a
that's not- that's-
man.
A man's Alex. A man's man. Anyways,
I'm not gay.
yeah, exactly. So that's the first calling, right? The chronicler, the second person perspective, the Watson type again. And the second sort of calling for him, and this is a very sort of standard way to use this sort of character, is to use him as a sort of catalytic plot device, right? It's like whenever Shikimori-san, essentially the buildup is like Shikimori-san's so cool, so cool, so cool, and then she has like the sort of moment of weakness, right? Or like, or Izumi-san has like a moment of weakness to really set up this contrast between Shikimori-san being so cool and then Izumi-san being so lame or whatever, and or like Shikimori-san kind of like falling, and then Izumi-san will have the male protagonist will have his sort of like one cool moment in the spotlight, and that'll be like, oh, when the chips are when the cards are the chips are down, right? The chips are down. When the chips are down, he is willing to be brave. He's willing to take the bullet. He's actually kind of brave inside. He's tough. And that's the sort of like, the gap moe, the whole like balance that the plot, the male protagonist brings in the situation. So that's his sort of second calling in terms of like plot device stuff. That aside, the actual
Who's your favorite character?
it's probably I mean,
Are you gonna say Izumi? Say it.
yeah, I should just say
Oh.
Izumi. Yeah. I personally like Hachimitsu, the blonde hair girl, but that's just because she's voiced by Katarina.
Because you like Gyaros, right?
Gyarados? No, she's not even a Gyaro type. She's not.
She is
she's
in this
not-
series.
That is. I mean, not really.
Oh no, I'm thinking of someone else. You like the bowl cut, huh? Voiced by Hidakarina.
Yeah, well, I mainly like it because it's just voiced by Hidakarina, but it's else it's kind of like whatever. But she's the blobby type. She's just kind of floating here and there. But the going back to the actual story, I don't know what kind of expectations I came in with now that I think about it, but I'm not very enthused.
Is she best girl, Spire?
Yeah,
in
best
this
girl.
in this cutthroat season of Best Girls, is she best girl for you?
No, I wouldn't say she's best girl by a
What do
long
you
shot.
mean
Wow.
this cutthroat season of Best Girls, by the way?
But
Last season was
yours
pretty
is
cut
a
and
lot of
dry.
competition, bro. But anyways, going back
last-
to the story, I want to go back to the story here.
Alright.
I'm not enthused about this being an anime. I think this being a short story, this being maybe like a nikomo or like ichikomo or like a yonkomo or whatever, right? A couple of panels and then having the scene is fine because the whole value of the series is in this sort of like visual gap kind of thing, right? Where it's like Shikimori-san saves Izumi from getting splashed by a puddle as the car goes by or something like that. And she's like, oh, she does a glare. If you guys know like Chihaya Furu, where it's like they cut to the eyes, or like Shoka, where it's like Chitanda, like when she's like, oh, I'm curious, Kinanimas, like the world like blooms, and there's that like effect that they have, that Shaft puts in. So in that sense, I think I think that's pretty much like Shikimori-san is essentially those like panning to the eyes, cutting to the eyes, or like having that like bloom effect for the visuals. It is that, but made into an entire anime, and I don't really like that.
I do, because that was the whole point of the short stories. It's like, oh, here's the short
Yeah,
story, and then
well,
bam, here's the main mugshot that you've all been waiting for on your Twitter feed. And I'm like, yeah,
I
that's the
think it
good
would be
stuff. Give me more.
nice.
Yeah, but
I
does it
think
really have like value beyond like one episode?
Oh, nope.
what I'm saying is
That's
like
why you get
even
one per episode. Hell yeah,
yeah,
or one per chapter.
I think even if it was maybe like just a short anime, like a 3-minute kind of thing, it would have still been okay. But it's like at the point where I'm watching like a full season of this for like 15 minutes, uh, I'm just like I like it's just too much. It's like it's not worth it. So I don't know. I just don't think like building an entire full at 15-minute plus anime full season around one visual shtick. I'm not even convinced really by the whole like character contrast kind of shtick, because it's like the main character is so kind of left in the dust, except for the specific parts that I mentioned, where it's like he needs to show that he has metal. He's actually tough inside, and then he kind of covers for Shikimori when she's like a little bit down in the dumps or whatever. Because the male protagonist is pretty much left out there to kind of rot, except for those parts, the story isn't even like a real story. So everything else, it pretty much is dependent on that one visual shtick. And so I don't know. Like I just, if you're gonna do this, like maybe just watch the meme clips. Maybe that's all you need to do. Maybe you just need to read the short stories. Maybe you need to just read the manga a little bit. But I personally would not recommend the anime. I just don't think it's worth it. Um,
I'm of the
uh,
opposite opinion, Spire.
well, I mean,
Because
yeah,
you know how what is it? What is this? You know how there's the Fujo Bait series where it's like, oh, here's this Ikemen dude who was all like,
yes,
oh, I'm a poor, weak, and helpless defenseless girl. It's like, oh, are you okay, my lady? It's like, oh, he's so cool. He's
yeah,
definitely best husbando over the season. This
yes,
is this series is for the opposite sphere,
yeah. But I never
for the
said those
weak.
series were good either. I
Or
didn't say those series are good either, though.
this series is for the weak beta males, I guess, who need a strong woman in their life to
This one goes
to
out
look
to all
up
the
to.
weak beta males out there.
Yeah. So, if you're a pathetic fucking loser,
You're getting
Shout
off at
out to
home.
all those
Yeah,
and
spineless
exactly.
fucking
you have
babies.
no fucking hope, maybe check this show out. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe you want a cute girlfriend in your life, but you're a pathetic loser. Okay, just
What's that
check
meme? It's like, babe, it's time for your 9 p.m. fisting or whatever, and the dude's like, yes, honey. Is
it's
that the
like the
meme?
Yeah, I don't know how that applies here.
this is
But
this is
sure.
like this is like meme review now, but it's like with Shikimori-san as the basis.
Yeah,
But
there's a
yeah,
bunch of fun memes, but yeah, I still like this series because let's be honest. I'll be honest. Shikimori falls within my acceptable parameters.
I mean,
Of
again, what
what?
I'll say,
Female?
it being a female,
Kinda.
having a female in the anime.
I mean, you guys seen the characters I like, right?
I mean,
Sure.
There's Nagato. There's Shirase Sakuya from Idolmaster.
yes,
There's Marina Inoue, and then there's Shikimori.
Toka.
So, are you gonna say it? All right, fine.
I just, I'm not going into it. I'm just saying it.
Episode 1, Toka.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
But-
I'll say Shikimori falls within my acceptable standards of a female partner. So that's why I like this
well,
series.
Well, what I'm saying is,
I
I
don't
think
need no weak women's. I like me big, strong women's
what I'm saying is like the
fucking fist fight.
I'm focusing a little bit more on the stories, but I think there's a I think there are perfectly acceptable mediums for something like Shikimori-san, for her character design, for her sort of like, oh, she's so cool, she's so cute, and stuff like that, and just like enjoying the fact that an anime girl like Shikimori-san exists, I guess. I think there are perfectly acceptable mediums out there. I just don't think a full 15-minute, 12-episode season is one of those mediums. Is just what I'm saying with regards to
I
the story.
like strong, confident girls, Spire. Can you say the same thing about your taste?
No, I kind of like completely helpless women. Yeah,
Based.
that's.
Are you calling Gold Ship weak and defenseless? Damn.
Like all
Yeah,
women, yeah.
once you get past her indestructible dropkick, she's very weak. But anyways, that's pretty much all I had to say about the story. I'm not
What's
a
your
big
rating?
fan. It's probably like a 3,
Out of
maybe
10?
maybe
Out of
less.
5?
Yeah, no, out of 10 for sure.
My
Um,
rating's a 9 out of 10. I like these memes.
the thing is, it's like it's one thing to be bad. It's another thing to be like kind of empty of value, and that's just sort of what I feel. Except for again the whole like visual kind of shtick. Um, in terms of one thing I would like, one last thing I do want to point out is when I first saw that Onishi Saori was voicing this character, I was like, ooh, is this gonna work out all right? Because again, Shikimori-san is, in my opinion, a pretty hard role to do correctly. Because it's like it's either you just do a very standard role and it becomes like mediocre, or you do a very like kind of you have to get a very good person for the role. And the last time I felt kind of this nervous was with like Medaka Box years and years ago with like
Y-
where Toyosaki Aki actually did that role, and I was like, Toyosaki Aki doing Medaka? Are you sure about this? Like,
Isn't Medaka not your favorite character in Medaka Box? Didn't you like the weirdo? The weirdo
yeah,
chick
I
who had
like
like a million moves? What's her name? I
yeah.
forgot.
I forgot her name too, but it's been such a long time since I went back to Nakabox. But
Man,
it
Medaka
is
Box's ending sucked.
it's Shiranu Hansore.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, Nakabox ending was not good. But that Nakabox aside, the point was Toyosaki Aki, who is infamously known for a very light and kind of like airy and like kind of like bokeh kind of I don't know what the fuck I'm doing kind of voice. She again most famous for doing like Momo in Tolovru as well as Yui in
See,
Heian.
this is why I say like Gyaru's, because Momo's kind of Gyaru-ish, and she
Mhm.
falls within your line of tastes. Me,
Yeah.
me,
Yeah,
I,
dumb.
I, I like my big, strong Ikemen women who I can fist fight, and I can trust in a battle to watch
Yeah,
my
in
back.
real life, yeah. But the point I was making was like Onishi Saori isn't necessarily super like it's not like she's like a Koshimizu Ami kind of role where she's like she can really kind of do the kind of more gritty like boom like I'm here, I'm tough, I'm in control kind of stuff. But she did a pretty decent job balancing it, and I was like, oh, okay, this is surprisingly pretty decent. I'm not like super wowed by it, but she definitely passes. And I just want to again, this is not an easy role in my opinion, and she did it pretty well. So anyways, that's pretty much all I had to say about Shikimori-san.
Wait, Spire might hate it, but I like it. Don't listen to him. Listen to me.
I apologize for completely hating everything about Shikimori-san. That is exactly what I said. Anyways, again, Shikimori-san's, Kawaii dake janai Shikimori-san. Shikimori is not just a cutie,
I
manga
mean,
original, short
if
story original, sorry, on
if
Twitter. If
Spire
you,
hates it that much, I'll just tell him to read the manga.
yeah, I mean, again, for those of you out there, you guys should try out the short stories in the manga if you do want to check it out. Again, this is by Dogo Kobo, the anime version that is. Anyways, that was my series. And moving on to Dark. What do you have for us today, sir?
Oh boy, I have Deaimon
Yeah.
with its subtitle "Recipe for Happiness."
Yes, I believe it is a what series is it? Or sorry, what studio? Excuse me.
This is Studio Encourage Films. They have done the most recent season of Gochusa, Isekai Cheat Magician, Love Kome, not a ton of stuff, and Adotama.
At the Tama, really?
Yeah, they did Sinfo Gear in 2012. So with
Wait,
Satellite.
what? No way.
Yeah, they were like co
Oh,
studio
they were
with
doing
that.
co. I was
Yeah.
like, they were May Studio Pacific Air. It's like, no,
No,
I
no
would have
shot.
known if they were May.
That
Yeah.
would be really weird.
Okay, so mostly. That's somewhat surprising though that they managed to kind of scrape this out of the of wherever they're getting their money from.
Yeah, well, I
Although
mean,
the,
I guess now they're probably gonna wind up being the main Gochusa studio, which they did a really good job at it anyway. So cool.
Mhm.
In this
It's all that
show,
love rice game. It's all that. Oh, sorry. It's all
yeah,
that love rice money.
it's all fucking Christ, dude. It's like, yeah, it's so weird, but yeah, like I don't know what the studio's deal is, but this show does look pretty good. So
Mhm.
I guess
Yeah, that's why I
I'll
said I
give
was
it
surprised.
that. So I mean, like I say it looks good, but it also kind of reminds me of like maybe like a slice of life series from like 10 years ago.
Are you
Like it
thinking about
doesn't
like Usagi
feel,
Drop? Are you thinking about Usagi Drop? What are you
yeah,
talking about?
like
Yeah.
yeah, it's strange. It's very, well, I mean, like content wise, it's not that, but just as far as like audio visuals and stuff, just seem different, you know? I guess also it's kind of similar to, fuck, what was that show called? Tsukigakire?
Oh, like pacing wise, you mean?
Also, yeah, I mean, also just visually, like
Oh, okay,
it
okay,
has
okay, yeah.
that same like sort of super hard like highlights
Mhm.
sort of style. Um, and yeah, I guess just like tonally and everything too is just very like a more like mellowed out type of series.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, it's got a lot of, oh yeah, so I should probably
It's
say like
kind of like
premise wise,
Barakamon and stuff like that, yeah?
yeah, yeah,
What
it's
was
like
the
it's
other
got
one?
drama, but it's not like this heavy shit. But anyway,
Mhm.
the premise is this guy Nagomu Irino returns to his Kyoto home for the first time in 10 years when his father is hospitalized. He's eager to take over his family's sweet shop, Rokusho, right? Yeah,
It is
Ryokusho.
Yuk. Yeah.
Ryokusho? Yeah. The family's Japanese
Yeah.
sweet shop,
Yokusho.
but
Yeah.
instead he's asked to be a father figure for Itsuka Yukihira, the girl everyone calls the successor.
The
Um,
successor of the shop, right?
yeah, so to basically like give a much better premise breakdown instead of fucking Maul's kind of awful one. Irino
Surprise.
was Irino was a musician for 10 years living in Tokyo,
Uh
and he wasn't super successful. So
huh.
he was part of like an underground band, and everyone got older. They're all in like their 30s, I think. And one day the band's like, "Yeah, dude, we're done.
Yeah,
Like
let's give it up. Yeah, let's.
we can't do this anymore." And so his whole band, all his bandmates leave. And at the same time, he gets like a call from his mother that his dad collapsed and was in the hospital.
Mhm.
And so he takes that opportunity essentially to sort of like rebuild his life back in Kyoto at the sweet shop. And I mean, also he finds out, semi spoiler alert for episode 1. I think it was like his dad had hemorrhoids or something. Like it wasn't even it wasn't a he didn't actually like collapse for a serious like thing, but it got
Mhm.
him thinking sort of like what he's going to do with that shop. Like how could he sort of take up the mantle? of it, because he never. What I like about this show is that he doesn't detest the shop. Like, he doesn't detest Kyoto. He doesn't detest his hometown. Like, he seems to like he loves the shop. He loves like the craft of making sweets, and he likes his hometown in Kyoto. So I thought that was nice. But anyway, so when he does that, he meets Itsuka, and essentially his mom is like, her parents abandoned her. You need to sort of like step in, you know,
Mhm.
which he attempts to do. But what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, and her backstory is that like her parents abandoned her. Her father was a musician, and he just like kind of disappeared one day.
Right.
Although I think it was like her mom passed away, but then her dad just like disappeared. Like, he straight up was like, "See ya," and left. So he's also seemingly showing up in the show again. So curious as to like what sort of drama that leads to. But the show itself kind of just turns into Irino sort of attempting to take up that mantle, and also kind of like deal with some of like the fallout of him just leaving Tokyo and wanting to like come back and immediately trying to position himself as the successor of the shop.
Mhm.
Whereas in almost like a playful way, his dad wants Itsuka to be the successor. Just, she's like the diligent kid. Whereas, he left to pursue music for 10 years. So,
Hey man, he's gonna be successful eventually, which is
yeah,
what
I
all
mean,
the music majors say.
overall so far, I've really enjoyed this show. It feels like, it doesn't feel like a typical slice of life series we've been getting
What
like
do you mean by that?
recently, especially. It does feel like that sort of like Barakamon type series, just
Right. So
because
I kind of want to get into that
it's a very
pretty
mellow,
deeply.
like, well, not mellow, I would say. It's more like
Okay.
somber slice of life that does have a decent amount of sort of like real drama, where it's
Okay.
drama, but it's not like melodrama.
Okay.
Like his ex, for example, like his quote unquote ex shows up, where I think they both have a misunderstanding that one was leaving the other,
Yes.
because she was
Yes.
pissed he was leaving Tokyo. Um, but then they never like officially broke up, but he thought that meant that, she broke up with him, and then he left a note saying like, I'm sorry. So then I think she thinks that he broke up with her.
Mhm.
But it's more of like a them coming to like an understanding, and now like her trying to pick up like her life in Kyoto. So, it's like you would think that would be like some really deep drama, but like it resolves itself very quickly, and they can kind of go about their business and interact,
It's
where
not
it's,
dragged out, is what you're
yeah, it's
saying.
it's not like this super dragged out, like them really needing to, over the course of multiple episodes being like, oh, but like, what do I really want? It's like, no, like, this is what I'm gonna do. Like,
Yeah, there's no huge random drama.
yeah,
Like will they, won't they kind of.
yeah,
So
it's no, they're
my oh yeah,
no,
go
go
ahead,
on.
sorry. No, this is gonna transition to another subject. So, but you finish what you were saying.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it does feel like that more sort of real or reasonable tone of,
Mhm.
these people going through certain things, but then them actually taking steps to resolve it in a real way.
A proper pace instead of like,
Yeah,
oh, I don't know, I'm gonna go to the playground and go on the swings, kind
yeah.
of thing. Yeah. So what I want to bring up was, and this kind of goes back to what you were gushing about, and again, this is not a negative way, but you were like, oh, it's like a male pace and kind of feels a little bit more different than Slice of Life. And I think the way that these sorts of series are set up, right, where it's like specifically, it's like a male protagonist and he has to take care of this like little girl, right? Um, they have a lot of balls to juggle, right? Admittedly, because you have to further the premise, the general theme of the series, right? Whether it's, the bakery or whether it's just like a general coming of age kind of thing or whatever, they have to develop the characters around the main, like, sort of two pairings, the main characters. And they also have to, especially in these sorts of setups, like Usaki Drop, even like something like Papa Kiki, right? Which is like a silly example to compare it to, but I'm just doing it because it's like, you know, dude, like male protagonist has to take care of like little girls or whatever, right? Um, and a lot of these, or even what is it? What was that series? It's like something Rain, After the Rain or something like that. What was that series with the high school girl and like the older like
Yeah,
older dude?
that was After the Rain.
Yeah. Um, the important thing is, right? Because it's like any motherfucker, any Japanese writer on the street can kind of just try to do this general, like, more kind of mature, whatever relationship, and the two are, whatever, boy and girl, or like different perspectives, or whether they're in a romantic relationship, or whether they're childhood friends, or whether they're in a platonic kind of thing, or whatever, and kind of just kind of roll it along, right? And get chapter after chapter done. But I think when it's like specifically this guy has to take care of this child, right? And this other person is a child, it has to be really well done because else it turns into this weird, like, it starts like trying to inch towards more and more of this like weird rom-com kind of thing, right? Or it sometimes has a danger of becoming an almost um like something like a Hanamaru Yuchen, or like a very like the kid ends up becoming this like kindergarten brain like zero IQ like babbling like kid who's so innocuous, like doesn't know anything, and it's like the guy has to take care of like the baby almost, right? And it's this like careful balance because in Deaimon, right, the girl is like admitted like 10 years old or whatever, but the way she's portrayed, she's not like a babbling baby, right? She's like an actual person, but she's still a child, and that balance has to be kept where it's like her weaknesses and her character uniqueness has to be molded through this idea of her become still being a child, and her having trauma from her, her backstory and stuff like that. And that has to meld properly with how the male protagonist, who is an adult, treats her as a child, and treats her as a child that was, haunted by her trauma and stuff like that. um so I think that's honestly like a big ball to juggle, and I'm curious if you think this sort of interaction is done well in Daemon. I have my own opinions on this, but I just want to hear what you think about this, like specific, like this is a female child, and this is like a main male protagonist, adult male protagonist, and he has to take sort of care of her, and then the story kind of progresses with that premise in mind, wherever it goes. Do you think Daemon does a good job of that specifically?
So I think it depends. I think it kind of depends on how you look at it. For me, I'm kind of looking at this more of like a sort of, I don't know, I guess like of
You
those
think there's
balls that
more
they're
focus
juggling,
on
like
like
more of a buffet
okay.
of it's focusing more on their lives in Kyoto than it is with that
Oh,
sort of
you're not
relationship.
so you think the focus is not on the relationship, it's just like the dude, and then there's also kind of the girl, and then but it's like
Yeah,
mainly
and then
about
it's
their
like what are
world.
the
It's about the
yeah, it's
world,
more
not the
about
relationship.
what's
Okay.
going on,
Okay, okay,
in
okay.
their lives more so than it is like because like I did think I thought it was a little bit weird with like the sort of like weight.
Yes.
I think that's the biggest thing of I would have said not to specifically say in this series so far for him to be like, for the mother to be like, oh, you have to step in and be like the father figure.
Mhm.
I wouldn't have given that much weight to that, and I think it would feel a little bit more like a little bit better, because I think so far it's like they've had like they usually have something of her of like him doing something with her that is filling in for like the role of her dad, right? Like they go to a festival that she had promised to go with her dad. I forget what other thing happened. There was something with like, oh yeah, like selling the sweets thing in one episode.
Mhm.
They had like a moment, and there's sort of like those
The
moments,
scam
but
or
I
whatever
feel
it
like,
was. Yeah.
yeah, the scam, and I feel like those moments, those are fine to have, but I don't think that they were frequent enough for them to drop the sort of like father figure line as an expectation for the series, right? Like I feel like them dropping that line and having him like quote unquote fill that role is sort of like deceptive with what we've seen so far. Because this seems to be way less of like that sort of relationship. This seems like to be a lot
So
more of just like a general like older sibling in a lot of ways.
right, right.
More so
So
than specifically like father figure.
do you even think it's like like even a little bit more distance and like separate than um I don't know, like okay, so do you think it's even more different and like kind of general kind of like world building than like say Barakamon or like Ama Toinazuma like Sweetness and Lightning? Do you think it's even more different than that? Where it's like you know what I'm talking about, right? It's like do you think it provides a much more like different, not a much more, but it's like do you think it provides a significantly different facet than
Um,
even those two sorts of series?
I think so, just because it's like I feel like I feel like Sweetness and Lightning was more. I mean, that was a lot more direct, like single parent shit. That was a lot less sort of almost like the adopted kid sort of scenario. Like even Barakamon like kind of has. Though even Barakamon I feel like has almost like a teacher relationship in the series where how he's sort of like this sort of like figure for pretty much like the entire village at some points, um, as being a sort of guardian slash role model type deal. Um,
Mhm.
though I do feel like it's kind of close to that with I don't know why I can't remember her name. I guess like his relationship with in Barakamon, where he's not really like they'll have moments, but he's not really like the true like he's not really a father figure when it comes down
Right,
to it.
he's kind of absorbing and marveling at the kids' naivete and like innocence, right? That's sort of like what he's doing
Yeah.
in that series.
And just as far as like his specific role, like just his actual sort of role is more, I feel like, that wasn't directly stated to be like, oh yeah, father figure. It's more of like,
Right.
like,
He's
like I
almost
said, like
watching.
it's
He's
more of like
chronicling it.
teacher. Like
Yeah.
in that sort of what you would think of like a social position. So
Yes.
I think this provides a little bit of variety with that, um, which I think is good. It could definitely do more so far if they want to push like the father figure thing.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's just because they want to set up a lot right now, like with the X and everything like that, just to like have
Hmm.
these characters come into play.
What do you mean
But
by setup for what? What do you think they're setting up for specifically?
I think like setting up just to like carry the rest of the series, you know, like
Oh,
here's
so
like
to
one
have
episode,
continual
like we're gonna introduce
interactions.
like
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
like
yeah,
we're
yeah.
slowly
Right.
introducing these characters over time, and we're gonna have these small interactions. Once we're done introducing these characters, we're gonna have like more deeper interactions between them. I think maybe
Okay.
that might start happening.
Mhm.
We might start getting more of the father figure thing once, because I think it was around episode 4-ish or something. It was even stated like Itsuka's like kind of warming up to the MC more, you know. So I think maybe like from here now we'll see a bit more, or a bit more like genuine interaction
Right.
between the two. So I'm not like super sure where the series goes. I would like to see it turn into a lot of like, because this is also very episodic too, is what I should say. Like it's super episodic with a lot of its scenarios, with the underlying successor and like missing father plot line sort of strung throughout. But as far as the scenarios they tackle, it has been super varying and extremely episodic, with some of it like kind of tying back to Sweets trivia. And so
Mhm.
I think it's been juggling it well. It's just more of, as of right now, I wouldn't expect from this series to like get into a more parenting trivia thing. I feel like this is more of
Again, it's like a
a
general.
sort
It's,
of
it's
like
still like floating.
buddy.
It's like yeah.
I don't even know what to call it. Like it's not like buddy
They're
cop,
they're
but like a duo team tackling these certain like happenings in this town deal
right. So
in
so again,
Kyoto.
it's like what you're saying is that these two are both kind of acting as almost like focal points for the cameras, like the scenes to develop, but the ideas of the general scenes, the episodes, and like how the story, not even the story, but how the series progresses, quote, and I say progress in the very loosest sense, is that they are kind of taking in and being molded by the world that is around them. And they're not like, the story isn't really about them having their own troubles and being like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, the band, I had the people in the band, but then they left me, or like, oh, my
Oh
parents
yeah,
left
I
me, or
mean,
whatever.
especially for
It's more
Irino.
like them
Irino's like,
being,
yeah,
yeah.
Irino's like hasn't really had troubles so far. It's most of like there's been like some small bits of him sort of juggling with the fact that like he doesn't particularly want to give up music, and he doesn't want to give up his guitar essentially,
Mhm.
but he also feels both responsibility for the shop and does genuinely like care about the shop from his own standpoint. There's like some small bit where he was saying like, you know, I his ex tries to say like what are you like, are you still playing guitar, or did you give that up? And he's like, I still try and practice just about every day and keep up
Mhm.
with it, but while I'm doing it, I forget what the term is, but it's this like sort of molding technique for the sweets. He's like, I naturally start getting into the flow of that instead of playing my guitar.
Right.
And so I feel like, you know, like so far, like they both definitely have like their troubles that bleed in and sort of put them in scenarios to bring in other characters and stuff.
Mhm.
But I think overall there's sort of like a balancing act between them getting into things due to that, and then that leading to something else. So, for example, like with the main character Irino, his entire leaving Tokyo eventually leads to his ex showing up, you know, and becoming a main supporting character, essentially,
Yeah.
like a
And they
main
have like
feature.
like an actual like episode for with their
Yeah.
like development. Yeah.
For Itsuka, there's a lot of her. I mean, even her first introduction with Irino is her thinking it's her dad, and then um, sort of them meeting because of that as well, before he even realizes that, you know, she's from the shop.
Right.
Um, So there's a lot of stuff like that, but there is also again like there's another balance of like other characters from around the town getting thrown in with their own like problems that
Mhm.
usually get resolved in some minor way or talked through, something like that.
Mhm. Yeah, uh, I am,
Basically, what I want to say is that a lot of episodes recently, like Japan's going woke. What can we say, right?
yeah, exactly.
You should see some of the content in this show. There's a whole episode about it being okay to cross dress. You know?
I also want to point out a little bit of thing before they before we return a little bit back to the story, but I'm glad that they at least have one or two people who like kind of speak regular, because a lot of these like series like especially because it's like anime is at the end of the day like it's cheesy, so it's like they whenever it's like, oh, they're in Kyoto or they're in Nagoya or like they're in some place like Kumamoto where it's like there's supposed to be an accent, especially Kyoto, right? Like the old city, right? Um, they have uh, in anime pretty much like everybody has like a Kyoto Ben accent or tends to have a Kyoto Ben accent when an anime does a series in Kyoto. It's like um the equivalent would be like you have a series where it's like a town in like Texas or something like that, and literally everybody has like the southern drawl, and like they're like tank the thing or whatever, like they just like using all these like short like abbreviations and stuff like that. It's like it's like not everybody does that, right? It's like you have
Yeah.
people speaking regular, and it's like they have like they still have like 60-70% of the people that are like oideyasu or like the very standard like cheesy Kyoto Ben kind of stuff. But there are some people that like kind of speak properly, like regular kind of Tokyo style kind of stuff. So that's uh that's a little bit of a nice change. But just one last thing. Again, it's like I do want to comment on the very helpful description that you gave of the series, and and I just I think it's refreshing in a sense, although again, it's like a very it's a much more difficult balance than a lot of the other sort of archetypes of this sort of premise, in that again, they're not the two characters, the little girl and the adult, is being used again as sort of a focus on where the scene is, on where the camera is pointing, but the relationship between them, like teacher and mentor, or like little girl and like he has to be the father figure, blah blah, isn't as focused on as one might think it would be regular in these series, and that's a pretty interesting, I think, variant. It's a pretty interesting change from what we've had before. Because again, it's like I would just expect it like, oh yeah, of course it's gonna be like I'm gonna take care of you, like I'm actually dependable, blah blah blah, like Usagi drop Baraka, not even Barakamon, but it's like I don't know, like Papa Kiki or whatever, other these like other like father figure series is, and I'm gonna take care of you, I'm gonna be dependable, blah blah. But it's definitely an interesting change of pace from that sort of focus. So, um, any last words on the series, Dark?
Yeah, I would say give it definitely give it a shot if you like cozy slice of life series like this. Definitely um definitely give it more than I think episode 1, like I don't like this isn't really a series where episode 1 blows you away and gets you like hooked in immediately. So
Mm-hmm.
I would say as far as that goes, like give it like try and give it to episode 2 if you think you'd be interested.
Mm-hmm.
Just because like, you're not really gonna get you're not gonna be able to appreciate what this series is like sort of doing um in just one episode.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So trying to think of
It-
what
It's
else.
it's very
There
it's
was
very.
definitely something.
I think
Oh
from the
yeah, I
discussion
mean,
that we just had, it's definitely much like you kind of have to have watched and like appreciated the other like a bunch of other series that have a similar relationship to kind of more enjoy this, if that makes sense, right? Because it's like if you don't, you're just kind of gonna be like, oh yeah, it's like girl and like the dude, and it's just gonna be like that. But it's like again, it's like for us who have watched like After the Rain, who have watched stuff like Rock'em, it's definitely a different twist. That's not just like the kid's just running around like a baby. You know what I mean? So it
Yeah,
adds
I mean,
value.
there's that, but it's also, I would say, also keep in mind like the call it the
Mhm.
there's sort of like even just the main character, I guess. His juggling of his life in Tokyo and what he's doing now, and sort of taking up that mantle. I think that's also something that hasn't really been tackled in this way super often, where he's like, I'm coming back to Kyoto sort of on my own terms,
Mhm.
in a sense. It's not like he's coming back and he's like alien to it, and he's sort of thrown into like just different, like foreign waters, essentially. He's coming back to something he's more comfortable with and enjoys and is happy to do, and isn't like begrudgingly like, oh man, I really like I could have been something in music. And
He's
it's like,
not doing like introspection like every fucking episode is what
yeah,
you're saying.
and it's also not it's not like an unreasonable introspection of like, but I guess that also comes with this being an older character in his like, I think, mid-30s.
Mhm. And
If the
him
show,
being and also the story isn't based around him being a failed rocker. It's based around
yeah,
him
it's about
having to
him
come
like,
back and look at other
yeah,
people.
his sort of, I think the best way to describe it is how it's described during one of the episodes between him and his ex, of her being like, like, so you came back here, or no, like, I think it's her explanation for why she decided to stay in Kyoto after like coming. And it was
Mhm.
just, she was like, well, I mean, I pretty much did the same thing. Like, I quit my job. I didn't really know what I was gonna do. While I was here, I enjoyed it. I found work here potentially. So her explanation was like, everything just kind of seemed to line up and be the right time to do this.
Mhm.
And so that's what his sort of reasoning was too. Like, the band falling apart, his dad having a health issue, him thinking about what he was going to do now. Those things adding up kind of made it feel natural to him go back there and have this be what he's doing now. More so
Right.
than like begrudgingly do it, or really having that sort of introspection of, is this something he wants to do?
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, it's again, it's interesting because again, while the characters are supposed to be, they are getting developed, they are becoming deeper. Again, they are sort of being used as focal camera points, right? Camera lenses on what is generally happening in the town. So again, that's like a interesting use of the characters for sure.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
also, kind of cool having Shimazaki Nobunaga doing a more,
Oh yeah. He's
just a more like laid back, sort of almost airheady type character at times.
hmm
Um, I would say, yeah, I don't know, just in general, that he's an enjoyable main character. We have a really good voice cast, so it's things are looking good for this series.
Yeah. It's definitely again. again, this is dark in our bias, but Session, this is Deaimon. But this, dark in our bias is because this is sort of our wheelhouse, right? It's sort of the slice of life pacing that we really like. But I do recommend that people watch it, and I think Dark, you do as well, right? So if you do like this series, you guys should check it out. This is anime original. This is not manga original, right? This is anime original. Or
No,
what?
it's manga original. It is
Oh,
manga.
it is manga original. Okay. Yeah, so it's a manga original. Please do check out, the manga maybe as well. Again, this is done by I keep forgetting the studios today. Who's doing this? Who do
This
this?
is Studio Encourage Film.
Okay, Studio Encourage Films again. Deaimon, slice of life stuff. Please do check it out. Definitely a different twist from the other types of stuff that have sort of a similar character setup. So yeah, thank you very much, Dark. And last but not least, we have Nier. What series do you have for us today?
So I watched Heroine Tarumono. The full title is fucking long. I'm not gonna
Do you want
read
me
it
to
all
try
out. I mean,
reading this? Yeah.
if you want to.
It's Heroine Tarumono, Kiraware Heroine to Naisho no Oshigoto. Transliterated, it means uh, uh essentially one people who are so one that it will become a heroine, uh the the hated heroine and her secret and the secret work and her secret job essentially, or
Yep.
also known in English as Heroines Run the Show, the unpopular girl and the secret task, which is
Yeah.
essentially very similar.
So this is a Leydus
Oh,
production.
ladies. Okay, all right.
Yeah. Um.
That's a name I haven't heard in a while, actually.
Yeah. This is I think this was a weird multimedia project kind of deal.
Yeah, I keep thinking it's definitely a multimedia project, right?
Yeah.
It's done by Honeyworks, which is like
Yeah, it's Honeyworks. Yeah.
famous like musical kind of channel and group in Japan. It's like it's a very famous. It's not as well known in the West, but it's very famous in Japan.
Yeah.
But I keep. Is it? It's not, right? Is it?
I mean, so I don't know if they're if they're selling music for this, but as far as I'm aware, there's no game or anything.
Yeah, Honeyworks just made a song and then it became an anime. And
Yeah, I'm
then
pretty
Honeyworks is just
sure.
like, yeah, that's a thing. Like this is it. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. There might be I don't know. I don't know if this is
I mean, I
there's
guess
some.
Honeyworks just has money and then they're like, yeah, it'll become an
Yeah,
anime, I
because
guess. Yeah.
there's a couple songs that they sing in this. Anyway, so the basic premise of this is
Mhm.
Hyori Suzumi is she's like a country girl.
Yeah.
She moves to the
Eyebrows.
big city, Tokyo, because she really loves running. She wants to be a track star,
Mhm.
um, and her local schools don't have track and field teams. So she moves to the big city um, in order to chase her dreams. And while she's in the big city, her dad back at home has back injury, and so they get a bit tight on money, and so
Mhm.
she gets pushed to find a job. And obviously, a lot of part-time jobs don't really want to hire her because sure her hours are going to be limited because she wants to be on the track and field team,
Right.
et cetera, et cetera. So she finds this basically dream job, as high pay, flexible hours, um, and she ends up getting it. And it turns out the job is to be a manager in training for this idol duo, this super famous up and coming idol duo, and the two boys that are in the idol duo just happen to be two of her classmates, right? Um,
Mhm.
and so from there on, it's basically just uh, her interacting with these two and sort of getting behind fake mask that they put up, and sort of realizing that these two are actually kind of fucking dickheads. And the facade that they put up is, a very fake personality,
Yeah,
and they're actually very,
they're her handsome boy dickheads.
yeah, they're
Okay.
actually very rude. They're very crass.
Uh-huh.
They're very blunt. But over the course of the series, they sort of grow to be friends. Um, and it's not like super dramatic. It's surprisingly not a romance, at least not yet. Um, and it's mostly kind of just like a sort of like a follow your dreams kind of like slice of life thing, where it goes through some trials and tribulations, but a lot of it's kind of just like a lot of Genki girl stuff. Do my best, yada yada yada. And it's pretty good so far.
Is the point of the series that everybody kind of sees her coming of age and becoming dependable person? Is the focus of the series her relationship with the two idols? What's the sort of focal point of
Um,
how the short
so I'd say
series?
the focal point, or at least like the main like message behind it, is sort of
Mhm.
like um, or at least the overarching theme is sort of like the pursuit of one's dreams can be an inspiration for others to pursue their own, right?
Mhm.
And doing your best, sort of inspiring others to do their best as well, and sort of how one person, doing their best to pursue their dreams can be a form of support around others to help them pursue their dreams as well. Um,
Mhm.
so a lot of it's kind of just like, yeah, do what you want to do, kind of stuff, right? Um, but yeah, a lot of it's kind of just like, yeah, chase your dreams. Like, I want to be an idol because uh, it's my dream. Like
And
they,
each of the characters kind of show a variant of that. Like, oh,
yeah,
it's I'm grumbling, but I actually do want to chase these
yeah,
dreams.
there a lot of it's so the two mains, two main male leads in the idol group, they grumble a lot.
Uh-huh.
They sort of put up this face there. They don't like each other very much. They get in fights
Mhm.
all the time. Um, they've got their own issues. One of them, the blonde one, he's very uncomfortable around girls, which is obviously not a great.
which is obviously
Uh,
based and
yeah,
true.
yeah, yeah, based in red pill, but also it's not a great thing to have if you're a male idol, because you're typically surrounded by female fans. But yeah, a lot of it's sort of them being you know not idol like around the main character, and sort of like you know huffing and puffing about how her as a like manager in training is sort of just you know she's clumsy or whatever, but because she's trying her best, they sort of um, warm up to her, and they help her out whenever she needs it and stuff like that. But yeah, so far it's not like super serious. It's not like a drama or anything. However, in the last two episodes, 5 and 6, they have introduced a new character,
Mhm.
uh, Nagisa, who is the main character's childhood friend. And in episode 5 and 6, they sort of uh, run the I guess I don't really know what the word is, but they sort of allude that, or rather, the characters run on the assumption that Nagisa is a girl, right? Um,
Mhm.
but at the end of episode 6, it's like, oh, Nagisa's a guy,
Because of the
and
name.
it's
Because of the name.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it's like this big shock, and you know, the two male leads are kind of like they look upset at the end,
Mhm.
and I'm really, really worried
Afraid?
that
Yeah.
they're going to
Afeared?
start. Yeah,
You're afeared?
I'm really worried they're going to start doing a love triangle on this. And that would be really fucking annoying.
What they could also do, and I've seen this in like one or two shows, although I forget, but it's like they could do this thing where it's like they do a little. So the initial the way sometimes this happens is like I'll draw like a little like imaginary like plot tree, but it's like they'll do a little dip of it, so they'll kind of like build it up, like the story will be like, oh, it could be they could be jealous, and it's like, oh, it could turn into a love triangle, blah blah blah. So they'll do that for like build up for like one or two, and then after those one or two episodes, it'll turn out to be like either just like a nothing burger, and then they'll just kind of go back into the regular thing, and then they'll have the childhood friend as either like sort of moral slash mental support for the heroine or whatever it is, or he'll just end up being some sort of shitty sidekick that won't get anything, or um, the buildup will end up in comedic relief, where like the childhood friend is completely just like a gag character, and then it'll kind of like branch off from there. You've seen that sort of like flow happening, right? It's
I
that could also
have, but
happen. It could be a
the
dip, or you could just shit the bed. You could also shit
yes.
the bed.
So it's just like the vibe of like the reveal at the end. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? It's very worrying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's a shame too, because like I said, um, up until this point, there really hasn't been very much allusion to romance. There was one episode where the main character had a dream, where she was like, because the episode before they were shooting like a music video, right?
Uh-huh.
And I guess the premise of the music video was obviously the two male idols were princes, and they were getting married to like some princess or whatever. Um, and she had a dream where like she was the princess, right?
Mhm.
And then she was like, you know, uh, like what the hell was that? Like what's going on? And then like immediately after that, um, the two like were back to her like the usual, like calling her fucking potato face and shit. And then she was like, as if I'd ever like fall for these two, right? Um, but then like at the end of the episode, like they did something to help her out, and she was like, huh, maybe they can be like idols after all. But that was it, right?
Mhm.
And that's like the most they've done to be like, maybe there's like some romance subplot, but it wasn't really anything. But now that they've like introduced this other male into the equation, and now they're like all the dudes are like looking at each other, and they're like, I don't like you, I don't like you, and it's like, are we really gonna do this? Like, it's just
Now
like
we have a Mexican
it's
standoff.
yeah, it's just really annoying.
My question is, or not question, but I know how what you need to do to solve your curiosity slash fear. You know what you need to do. You need to listen to that fucking song that's related to this anime, and
Yeah.
you need to look at the fucking lyrics and pray to Jesus there's no fucking love triangle on that shit.
So the thing is, there's I think they've played
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 songs so far.
Is
Um,
isn't this this is based off a song, right? Is that song in the anime? It's not, right?
I've I have no idea. I don't know what song exactly this is based off, but um, so there's one song that they've played like in full, um, and the lyrics were basically like, again, like you should follow your dreams, right? Like no matter what, um, you should do your best and follow your dreams, kind of shit. And
Mhm.
then the other 2 songs they've played is kind of just like generic, um, like Romeo and Juliet kind of thing, where because like that's like I guess the idol duo's gimmick or whatever, or like their aesthetic is that they're like the Romeo, and then they call their fans like Julietas or whatever. Um, but yeah, they haven't really like the only like the one song that they've played has kind of been like thematic, um, which is like the follow your dreams thing, and the rest have kind of just been like generic. You're like, yeah, I'm a male idol, and I love you, the listener. It's like, Okay, sure. Um, but yeah, in terms of like the music, I don't know what exactly like which song this is based off, if there is one,
No, there's an
or if
actual
it's
song called Heroine Tarumono by Honeyworks.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they haven't played that,
Okay.
at least not yet. But yeah, so yeah, but overall, I mean, so far, again, I've liked this show, um, and I feel like, to be fair, I feel like majority of my enjoyment from this show has been from the main character. She's very cute. She's very likable. She's got big eyebrows. She's very Genki. Um, the two male idols are they're okay. I feel like they can like so they're supposed to have I guess this like crass attitude towards each other and the main character, but some of it feels like it's going like a little bit too far. Like they'll throw like insults at each other, um, but like some of it feels a little mean, and like the main character will sometimes be like, "Hey, like what the fuck," and then they just won't apologize. They'll just like walk away. And it's like, is this like supposed to be like charming banter, or are they just like dickheads? Like, are they just like actually rude? Um, but I can never really tell with these like fucking uh like shoujo series where it's like, yeah, the main character is uh or like the male leads are like abusive dickheads, and that's supposed to be hot. It's like, what? I don't know, but some of it
So
feels
so from these lyrics that I'm reading, it's like it is mainly centered around the girl, but it's like the girl is also like most of the lyrics are this like it's okay to be a tough heroine, like kind of rough and tumble heroine, right? It's like that sort of vibes. So
yeah. So the
my guess
reason
is there could be my or if I had to maybe conceive of a potential flow for the plot is that they'll kind of keep the whole like coming of age, being rough and tumble girl who's looking at all these handsome boys with their, whatever natures and being like, whatever, and kind of being herself and being her enthusiastic, dreaming self and reaching for towards her dreams or whatever. And they'll keep that and they'll have the sort of like slight smell of romance as a very low undercurrent until the very last episode, like last half of the episode, where all boom like pops up and she has to like run towards the sunset. I feel like that could be a thing that happens. My guess,
right.
yeah, just from
So
experience.
in the last couple episodes, like I said, where they've sort of been like alluding to the childhood friend being a girl, and then up to the reveal where it's guy, right?
Mhm.
Um, the sort of like I guess uh like care. I don't know if I'd really call it an arc, but um, the sort of like events that have been happening is the main character has sort of been interested in uh like fashion,
Uh,
because one of the idol dudes like basically called her fashion sense like shit, right? Like she basically just dresses in whatever's comfortable, right? Um,
Mhm.
and so like she's like sort of been doubting herself, like maybe I should like dress up. And then they sort of took her for a makeover. They cut her hair. They put makeup on her. They gave her a new wardrobe. And then I feel like as the episodes go on, I feel like the childhood friends probably gonna be like, "Oh, like you look so different, like from when you left, like for Tokyo or whatever." And then she's gonna be like, "Oh, like maybe this isn't me or whatever." And then it's gonna be like, "Oh, it's okay to be uh fucking tomboy or whatever, right?" Um, you don't have to be, you don't have to dress in the like fancy outfit to be a heroine, right?
Mhm.
Um, But yeah, I feel like
Yeah,
that's probably
that's part of the whole like song as well. In the
yeah.
lyrics. Yeah.
I feel like that'll probably be like where it goes. But again, I'm really worried about this fucking love triangle shit. Just because it's like
Again, I think it might end up becoming. I mean, it's still episode 6, right? It's like
yeah,
the reason why I say this is not because I'm just trying to casually massage your sort of worries. It's more just like if it's uh s- if it's episode 6 out of a 12 episode series that's about like coming of age and being like, oh, you need to chase your dreams, you need to be arduous, energetic, whatever. Usually that sort of series will still spend like at least 3 to 4 more episodes kind of hammering that into your head. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you need to
yeah,
chase your dreams, blah blah blah. And it usually won't be until like 1 or 2 episodes, usually something like episode 10, episode 12, whatever. And even if it's like usually in episode 12, they won't spend the entire episode. It'll be like the last half of the episode or some bullshit like that, right?
yeah,
Um so that's usually how the distribution works. Again, this is speaking from experience, but it's usually they're not that creative in these this
yeah,
sort of things. So it's, hopefully, yeah, let's chase our dreams. Question mark. That'll
yeah.
be it. Yeah, hopefully.
But yeah, overall, I'd say so far it's been enjoyable. It's not like a super deep series. It doesn't really like go,
Hmm.
it's not really like exploring these character motivations. It's not like super introspective or anything.
Hmm.
It's kind of just like um, it's just kind of cute, right? Like the main character is just really likable. Some of the character banter is pretty fun. A lot of the side characters are like they have barely any screen time, so um,
They're
they're
not part
not
of the
really.
song. There's
Yeah,
only one girl
they're
in the
not really
song. Come
that
on.
they're not really
Yeah.
that important. Um,
Yeah.
I did find it a little weird that it was like the initial setup is like her dream is like to be a track and field star, but
Mhm.
there's very little that they show of like her doing track and field. It's very much focused on like obviously the idol stuff. Um, and uh it's not really like a male idol like show. Um, because they're not really like it's not like every episode there's like a song and dance. Um, it's kind of just like yeah, they're
Well,
practicing and oh
my
they'll do a
thought,
show. It's a lot of like behind the scenes kind of
yeah,
stuff because
my
she's
thought is
basically an
that,
assistant.
yeah,
So
yeah, my thought is that the whole idol premise is in my opinion, at least this time, a pretty clever way of doing two things, right? One is, um, it sets up the contrast. It sets up the whole like personality contrast for or easy, pretty standard personality contrast for the two idol guys, like the Ikemen, right? The whole like,
yeah,
oh, I'm ugly behind the scenes, but then I become nicer over time, or like I actually really want to be an idol. The whole like, like I'm actually a good guy, but I'm being an asshole at the beginning of the story or whatever. That's sort of standard flow, right?
yeah,
And two, it creates the contrast between them and the girl, where it's like the girl's just trying to get by in the world, and she looks a bit homey, and she's just like very like average country hick girl, but then she becomes a Cinderella, a shiny heroine, unconventional shiny heroine, uh while working in this idol industry, surrounded by people who are supposed to shine more than her, stuff like that. So it's like the two contrasts, right?
yeah,
So it's a good way to do that, I think, in this case.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, so far it's solid. It's not the best
Mhm.
thing in the world, but it's enjoyable, I guess.
Right,
Um,
right, right. I like how we're for like a long time, like we're still like, is this gonna be multimedia project? And then it's literally just like a
yeah,
Funny Works song. Yeah, I
it's
guess Funny
weird.
Works just has $1 million. Like I guess that's just how it is.
Yeah, because it I don't know. It almost feels so sometimes like it's like yeah, it's like it sort of feels like a multimedia project, but then it's like you look into it and it's just like Yeah,
I mean,
it's just like Honeyworks, like flexing.
yeah. I mean, again, this
You know?
speaks to how popular Honeyworks is in Japan. It is very popular, especially with the
Yeah.
younger demographic. It's kind of like it's honestly kind of like Black Rock Shooter in a sense, where it's like
Yeah.
Black Rock Shooter is the song, and people are like, "Wait, is there something else happening?" No, it's just Black Rock Shooter, and it's becoming an
Yeah.
anime. Sorry, so it's similar with that and Honeyworks. So
Yeah. Um, but yeah, in
as for
terms of audio
oh
visuals,
yeah, audio visuals.
it's solid. They're again like largely just like slice of life kind of stuff, but they have done what like they've shown like one uh like dance choreography kind of thing. It was largely CG.
Mhm.
It didn't really look super hot, but um, for the most part, I mean, the show looks fine. Uh, it's got a it's got a fairly decent style. Um, the eyes are very nice. I will say a lot of them are very detailed. Um, they got that nice anime eye shine on them. In the important moments, they'll
Yeah.
sparkle and whatnot. The audio visuals are solid. Um, the music, I mean, it's male idol fucking pop music. I can't really.
Bro, you don't like male idol music, bro? Come on.
Not really. Like because I don't know. Sometimes I can't really tell if like um some of these like male idol shows are like when they're not multimedia projects. Sometimes I can't really tell if these songs are supposed to sound like painfully generic or not. But
I
the
think part of it's like the anime isn't really like the anime is getting a series as part of like a honey like oh this is a Honeyworks anime, but beyond that I don't think they're really putting much
yeah,
effort into the anime itself, if that makes sense.
yeah. I mean, I don't think they're really like focused that much on the like the they're not like full songs either, right? They're like kind of snippets of songs, but I don't think they're really focusing that much on how the songs sound. But a lot
Mhm.
of them are kind of generic. As for like the actual OST, it's pretty standard fare.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I'd
It's
say
kind of
solid.
disappointing because it's like I feel like if it's at least Honeyworks stuff, although I mean this has happened with their other anime projects as well. It's not like their
Yeah,
other anime projects have become like Idolmaster kind of stuff. But it's like I kind of wish, because it's Honeyworks, right? It's like saying, oh, it's Idolmaster stuff, but they didn't really have any good songs. It's like really? I feel like if it's Idolmaster, they should have had at least one good song, right? Like at least the opening or something like that, right?
yeah. I mean
But it's like
the
with Honeyworks, it's like I feel like they should have had a little bit more in the way of like really good OST stuff. You know what I mean?
yeah. So the OP is I guess supposed to be one of the like boy band songs.
Uh-huh.
Again, I find it really generic, but I can't tell if that's like my personal bias or not. Um, and then the ED is sung by like a bunch of the uh, voice actors and actresses.
Mhm.
And it's quite nice. It's quite a nice ED. I
Mm.
liked it quite a bit. But yeah, the music overall is kind of just like, eh, it's 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 music.
It's
It's not
serviceable.
like
It
it's
does
not
have notes.
it's not bad, but it's not something that's gonna be stuck in your head.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, pretty solid. Um, Again, this isn't like a male idol show. So if that's something that like turns you off, I wouldn't worry about it too much. If you're interested in sort of like a just like standard slice of life, girls interacting with boys kind of stuff, I'd say maybe check it
Please.
out. I feel like some of the initial dialogue in episode one can be a little stiff, but if you just stick with it, you might enjoy it. I think. Um, but yeah, I'd say it's solid. Again, not the best thing I've seen this season, but it's serviceable.
Right. All right. Well, again, thank you so much, Nier, for helping to cover Shoin Tarumono. And again, this is one of the series that I believe everybody really kind of look to as like one of the sort of more unique series and see how it kind of panned out. Obviously supported by Honeyworks, done by Ladus. This is an anime. Well, it's a song original. It's an actual Honeyworks song. You can actually search for that on YouTube or wherever and find it and listen to it. But it has become an anime adaptation of that song, much like again something like Black Rock Shooter or whatever. And the full name again is Heroine Tarumono, Kiraware Heroine to Naisho no Oshigoto. Or Heroines Run the Show, The Unpopular Girl, and The Secret Task. So check that out if you are interested. And with that, we are finally moving on to the news. Not that much news today, so we're just going to kind of blast through it real quick and then run on to shoutouts, callouts. So first, something pretty interesting. Animation studio TMS Entertainment announced a new project titled Gensaku Kobo TMS Lab, or Original Work at Atelier TMS Lab, on April 21st. The project's goal is, quote unquote, to create a future with a sustainable Japanese anime industry. Wow, really? That's
That's lofty stuff.
Yeah, exactly. As part of the project, creators will release manga, novels, and online videos through TMS various websites and social media platforms as primary source works. TMS is releasing motion comics for some of the manga on its YouTube channel with English subtitles. So all they're doing is they're just going on another digital platform, right? This is not like I don't know what this means. Yeah, they're literally just putting their manga on YouTube or whatever,
I
or just on
mean,
different social media platforms, right?
to be fair,
It is better
actually,
than like having it on
actually
mobile.
having digitalization
Yeah.
is a step towards a sustainable anime industry.
That is true.
So
That is, and also putting it on like YouTube and doing subtitles and stuff like that instead of fucking whatever, like the Shonen Jump app number 50. It's like, come on, guys, okay. Like just fucking put it on somewhere decent. But yeah, this is definitely another step towards the right direction. Hopefully, this sort of digitalization using YouTube and stuff like that spreads a little bit. And yeah, we'll see. Next, this is sort of the only other really big news piece for the past 2 weeks. This is the 46th annual Kodansha Manga Award winners announced, and usually this is a little bit more on like the mainstream side. It's not like super like specific or like super like weird kind of stuff like Tezuka Osamu Awards, but a lot of these might be decent if you check them out. So yeah, Japanese publisher Kodansha announced the winners on Wednesday for its 46th annual manga awards. Best shonen manga goes to That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Surprise. The other nominees for Best Shonen Manga included A Couple of Cuckoos, Koku no Inazuke, Shangri-La Frontier, and Freeran, Beyond Journey's End. So check those out maybe. Best Shoujo Manga goes to Nina the Starry Bride. Other nominees for Best Shoujo Manga included In the Clear Moonlit Dusk, A Sign of Affection, and My Happy Marriage. And Best General Manga goes to Nier. So very surprise, pleasant surprise for you. It's Police in a Pod, or Hakotsume. Other nominees for Best General Manga included Oshinoko, Skip and Loafer, Chikyu no Undo ni Tsuite, Yankee Kun to Hakujo Girl, Garu, and Yakuza Fiancé. Race wa Tanin ga ii. So at least a couple of these are already pretty well known in the manga community, and some of these have received awards, I believe, before. Oshinoko, I believe, and I believe Chichikyu no Undo ni Tsuite, I believe, got a nomination here or there, if I remember correctly. But yeah, if you guys are interested, please do check these out. All right, moving very quickly into our shoutouts and callouts. Every person here gets one shout out and one call out each. Shout out is one thing that you want to praise. 5 out of 5. Cheer on with all your dear might, just like how it is in the Honeyworks song, Tambaro. And it is any one person, place, or thing. And call out is the exact opposite thing, something that you want to give 0 out of 10. Maybe if your toast, you would score it a 6 out of 10, right? That's his, I believe, terrible score. And something that you want to rage about, and it can be any one person, place, or thing. Unfortunately, right now, Toast is not here with us. They had to go off, do something a little bit critical. So we are just left here with myself as well as Darkeneer. So let's start off with Dark. What do you have for us today? Start us calls.
Okay, yeah, these are. Well, my shout out's going to be to. I'm going to shout out Star Citizen because its most recent patch has improved performance to the point where get frame rates that a video game should have, or could have in most cases. So imagine that. And the servers work enough to where NPCs and ships will actually fucking destroy you now. Or you could kind of just like strafe in one direction and then they didn't have enough accuracy to really hit you very well. Now they will fucking strafe circle around you and blow your ass up if you're not reacting enough and taking them out. So that game has been super, super fun. Granted, don't get too excited because the game still, in order to get decent performance to good performance, which I consider, in space flying, usually like 80 plus frames. On the ground now, it's usually like 40 to 60 or something. Cities used to run at like 25 frames per second, so this is quite the upgrade. But again, that's with running on an SSD. You need 32 gigabytes of RAM because the game eats 20 plus 3080 Ti, and then was it Intel i10 850K or whatever. So quite a lot to be able to run the game decently still, but it's pretty good now. And it's been having solid updates, and it's getting another one next week. That'll be fun. For my call out, this one's hot off the presses. I'm calling out David Jaffe. I wish he would just fuck off finally.
The man of many
forever.
great takes. Yeah.
Yeah, now his new take that fucking Sony fanboys, which I still, for the love of fucking God, how are you a console fucking fanboy? Just follow whoever gives you the best fucking deal, please. Is like Phil Spencer needs to be replaced at Xbox, and you might be asking yourself why.
Why?
What could possibly make David Jaffe come out with this incredible take? I will give you near one guess. It is something that happened recently.
What? The Activision shit or what? Like I have
Oh
no
no,
idea.
buddy, it's the Starfield and Redfall delay.
What?
It says,
What
got him.
does Phil have to do with that?
Got him.
What?
Microsoft owns Bethesda now, so
Okay.
yeah.
I don't think Phil came fucking
checkmate,
storming
buddy.
into the
Checkmate,
Bethesda
pal.
studios and was like, "You
He
need
thinks-
to fucking delay these games right now."
I mean, even if Phil did do that, it's probably because it's a fucking Bethesda game that's somehow not ready for release. Like,
Yeah, shocker.
everyone.
Are you
like,
saying?
there's
Are you
tons of
saying
people
a
that are like,
Bethesda
yeah,
game may
get rid of
not
them.
be polished and ready for release? I don't believe you.
I mean, not only that, it's like if Bethesda's delaying a game, it's
Yeah,
bad.
you know it's
Like,
fucked
it's
up.
not.
Like
It's
you know it
fucking
is.
buggy.
It is not even
Like
playable.
we all like Skyrim was bad. Fallout 4 was insane. Like.
Yeah.
Fallout 4, you don't want that ever again. I don't know if anyone remembers how bad Fallout 4 was on release, but it was very bad. Just as a little thing for that, reminder, Fallout 4, you could accidentally play a level-headed, reasonable character, thus playing every side and breaking missions towards the end of the game because you were allied with literally everyone
Yeah.
and they were fighting each other, and you had to kill someone, but then you would start losing karma, and you'd lose rep with your followers if you had any. So just a little tiny taste of what amazing features we got by Fallout 4 releasing
I mean,
very probably 3 months early.
there was also Fallout 3, and subsequently New Vegas suffered from this as well. On consoles, where the more you saved your game, the worse the game ran. So
Oh no, that was Oblivion also had that too.
yeah,
I
so
accidentally saved Oblivion so many times on Xbox 360 that it at one point was taking me 30 minutes to load into a game, and I didn't know
yeah,
why.
yeah.
It took me weeks to like hunt down why the fuck that was happening. So, you know, yeah, apparently, Phil ran in there, said you need to delay these games. Also,
Yeah. Had
apparently
Todd by the fucking neck.
apparently Phil somehow caused these delays. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm pretty sure Jaffe
Yeah,
said at some
he's
point that he was
working
a
on 'em.
bad he was a bad manager or something. And it's like
Oh,
Phil's
yeah.
not managing these.
Yeah, he's not like
Also,
directing the games.
even if he was, it's like he didn't buy Bethesda until like 5 years into Starfield's development. Like, Bethesda's only been owned by them. Like, Bethesda announced Starfield years before they were even acquired by Xbox, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like, I think that was a long time before. So, yeah, it's like, it is fucking insane to see this. Also, David Jaffe has released one good game in the past 21 years, and it was Twisted Metal Black in 2001. So,
Yeah.
fucking eat shit. Like, God of War 1 and 2 were fucking mid, even for their release at the time. 3 was an okay game, wasn't even directed by him. So, and it's so good that they changed the entire game. So, fuck off.
And I mean, for God of War's case, a lot of the initial, like the original trilogy's like appeal is like just the combat, right? And that's not really David Jaffe's doing. That's like the combat designers.
Yeah,
work,
and
you
again,
know?
like as a full package, like those games were so like fucking whatever.
Yeah,
It's like
I mean
it
they
hit
were.
its stride a little bit in 3, but it's like the most other notable thing, other than this is an action game, is it has gore and booby. Whoa.
I mean that was basically God of War's appeal, right? Like the kind of
It's
people
like,
that
can
were
you
like
tell me the
really
actual story of and
the kind of
course
people that
of
were
events of
really into
God of
God of
War 1
War,
and 2?
like the original God of War, were kind of like the people that watched like kill counts for movies on YouTube and are like, this is awesome. You know what I mean?
and
Like,
also like played fucking Dante's Inferno and were like, wow, this is
yeah,
badass. It's
this is metal AF. So
yeah.
okay.
Okay. What if that's it then? Um, I guess
Oh
I'll
yeah,
go
also
next.
David Jaffe couldn't play Metroid, so don't take any fucking
Yeah.
opinions from this man, please.
I mean, David Jaffe's like a new, like, it feels like he realized ever since that Metroid tweet that like the only times he's going to get attention now is just like
As if he
spitting
has
out
an
fucking
awful take.
garbage takes,
Like,
right? So it's like his mission to find the new shitty take of the
remember
week.
the last
So,
game that David Jaffe tried to direct was Drawn to Death. Remember Drawn to Death?
yeah,
Probably don't, because it fucking sucks.
yeah.
Okay. So I guess that was your shout and call out, right? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And thank you, Dark. And I guess I'll go next real quick here. My shout out is some Matsuoka Yoshitsugu videos recently re-emerged on my YouTube feed. I posted one link there. if you guys want to click on that. It's actually pretty funny. So it's like Matsuko Yoshisuku is most famous for doing like he does a lot of protagonist roles, but he's most famous for doing like Kirito, right? And like Damachi's Bell and stuff like that, and a lot of other MC roles.
Yeah.
But he's a very like he's a very kind of like like weird, like awkward, like his like persona, I guess, quote unquote persona, in like live events is like he's like very awkward around like women and stuff like that, and he's like very like awkward in general. And there's like a bunch of funny videos where it's like, for instance, he's playing Mahokoku Retuse Lost Zero, or Mahoka or Irregular at High School Magic High School Lost Zero, video game, and he comes across this. I could post this one too actually, but he's playing this game and he comes across a choice like, what kind of girl do you like? And he has a choice between picking a girl like Miyuki, which is like the girl the main like heroine, right? His sister or whatever, voiced by Jaime Sauri. A girl like Mayaka, a girl who's voiced by Uchida Maya, I believe. And then the last choice is a girl. And then, out of the three he picks the third one. And everybody's like, what the fuck? Why? It's like, why did you pick that? And like everybody, and he also has like a famous relationship where it's like not like relationship, but he's like, whenever he and like Nobunaga Shimazaki, who is Nier mentioned, like a pretty famous voice actor, up and coming voice actor now. Whenever the two of them are like in a live event, they go like full like boys love with each other. They just like hug
Yeah.
each other and shit. Yeah. So when he picked that, everybody was like, "Wait, so you're going the Shimazaki route, right? Is this the route you're going?" Or like the other what is it? The other video I posted, I posted a timestamp with it too, if you guys look. But he's like, this is for like a Sword Art Online Alicization event. So they were doing this like weird, like little mini game segment where the main girl who's voice acting Alice, I think, whacked the sword down, the plastic sword down, and Matsuoka was trying to see if he could catch it. Like he could do like this infamous like the Japanese like sword grab
Oh,
thing
the
right over
samurai
the head.
catch.
Look at what happens here. Look at the video. He's trying to do it. The Gundam is video music is part of just like the meme clip, but he tries to catch it and he's like, and he completely fails and he just like gets whacked on the face. He's like dying. So shout out to Matsuki Scoop for brightening my day. My call out is I'm gonna steal this one from the chat, but as Sessian pointed out, it is the Overwatch diversity or the Blizzard diversity metrics thing or whatever. Apparently, Blizzard released a tool that is supposed to quantitatively show with quote unquote all this hard data, quote unquote, um, about how diverse your game is or whatever it's supposed to do. And not only is it depressing in a variety of fashions, which I won't really get into here, including, are you weighting different diversity categories differently? Like, is being a woman weighted less than being gay or being African American? Like, what is the weighting?
Well,
But it's
yeah,
also
I mean,
like,
how do you weight that? But also, it's like when you're talking about like, was it like culture
vi-
and
no,
ethnicity or
and
whatever? It's like
they
so.
also weigh
Wait, it's like so is like so if white is like 0, is like Hispanic 1 and then black 2? Like what the
Yeah,
fuck are you
exactly.
guys doing?
Also, not only is like it would be one thing if like just like culture or something that was like a weighting factor, but apparently visual looks themselves are also weighting factors. So it's like this way, like what are we talking about here? Like, is
Oh
gamer
yeah,
girl
it was
getting a
like
10?
yeah, it
Like,
was a
what are
pie
we?
chart of like,
Yeah.
physique, age, race,
Yeah.
ethnicity, or no,
If they're like a
race,
sexy cam girl,
culture.
do they get more weighting? Like, what's happening here? Like,
No,
so
you get less because you're not a
oh yeah. A slightly
completely
nerdy
fucking
gorilla.
atypical body type with no
Yeah,
limbs.
you gotta look like Roadhog, dude.
So
Yeah.
you could be, you
But
could be
but
the
I
most
also
interesting. But see, like, but also if like Roadhog didn't have arms and legs, and yeah, and there you go. That's
but yeah,
now Roadhog is a more diverse character because we cut off his arms and legs. Now he's
Yeah.
more diverse.
I mean, that is,
According to those metrics, that's actually how that would function.
yeah.
but I also want to point out it's just like I guess it's like a extension of the call out, but I also want to call out those people who are like trying to justify like this tool existing by being like, like you know how stupid higher ups are. All they want is like they want to just see numbers and charts and stuff like that. I'm like, but you can have charts and numbers about diversity without using the tool because at the end of the day, this is literally no different from a checklist, right?
I
Because
just
it's
don't
like
really, I just don't really understand what the tool's purpose is. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
Well,
Because
what's
no,
funny
because
is
people
neither
are like
does apparently the Overwatch team
yeah,
because
because
they
from
didn't
what
know
I
about
saw,
this.
the metrics are inputted manually, right?
right.
Like people are putting in the gradings, right?
Scores, yeah, exactly.
So it's not like this is some sort of uh like AI that like sort of reads the character designs and sort of like
Yeah.
um you know grades them on like their diversity, which would be dystopian enough, right? Like that would be
Also,
fucking
if we use AI and we mix in the wrong data sources, we're probably gonna get like Nazi is
yeah.
10
You're
or
I mean
something.
you're gonna get racist AI like
Yeah, exactly.
nine times out of 10 when you're like trying to teach an AI about diversity, it becomes racist.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
because like a lot of the data that you have to give it is based on the internet, but
Mhm.
um but like a lot of this data is sort of like inputted manually, right? So there was a tweet I saw where there was like a like internal discussion thing based on one of the things for Winston, right? Which if you don't know, Winston in Overwatch is a fucking gorilla, right? And uh he was rated like 10 on like the race thing, and it was
Slightly
like
nerdy. His visuals are slightly
Wait,
nerdy,
that
and that
was
was also
real?
yeah, that was real.
I thought that was a
Um,
shit post.
no, there was
Oh,
like a discussion thing. It's like why like what are we grading this on? Like, are we grading this relative to like he's 10 because like the other characters are humans, or like what are we grading this on? Like
what
I
I
um
would
found funny
assume.
was
I'm assuming from what they had in the like octagonal charts is literally all zero. Like the funniest thing is that like if Soldier 76 wasn't gay, he would be all zeros. Like he would
yeah,
be
because
dead center
I
of
mean
the octagon
he's an
because he's
able-bodied
a
white man.
able-bodied white guy. Oh no, wait, no, he would have a little bit in age too.
Yeah,
So
because
you have age and
he's a lot of white hair.
sexuality.
I
Yeah,
also can I also again just point out how slightly nerdy got a 10 and then being age 29 got a 1. I was like, what the
I
I don't
Yeah,
mean,
he's also a gorilla. Like, what do you
yeah,
mean? That's like
but I
he's
mean,
if he's a 29-year-old gorilla, that means he's fucking like
like a
halfway through
million.
his life at best.
but also
Yeah.
like they
Gorillas
gave
don't
him
live
like
until they're 100.
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure they
exactly.
gave him a like relatively low like cognitive score, and it's like he's a fucking scientist.
Yeah,
Like
he's an
he
astrophysicist or whatever it
he
is.
invented. I'm pretty sure he's the one that designed like Tracer's fucking chess thing, right?
Or like
Like
Echo
Pretty sure
or
he
whatever the
he
other thing
made
called.
his own gun and his barriers. Like,
yeah, like he's like one of the fucking smartest characters in Overwatch, and like they gave him a pretty like fairly low like cognitive thing. It's like, what? Like I feel like the people that are inputting this quote unquote data don't even like know what they're talking about. So it's like this
which
tool is
makes
just
sense because it's not the
Surprise!
Overwatch
Yeah.
team.
yeah. I mean, this tool
It's
is
the
just like
king. It's the team at fucking King.
Yeah, it's like it's just worthless. So like, what is the use of this tool? Like, what are they using this data for?
Again, it's like the whole like them aside. It's like the people on social media who are like, oh, it's like what bosses want. They just want pretty
No,
numbers and
yeah,
stuff
and
like that.
honestly,
I'm
I
like,
would
what I'm
agree
saying
with
is
those
like,
people that is why they made this tool to show it to fucking other people and be like, look, our game arbitrarily meets these completely made up diversity metrics. But it's like, that doesn't mean that this tool existing and them doing that is reasonable. Like, this is
well,
still
even
fucking insane. Like,
again, even if you have stupid bosses, like it's one thing to
Yeah,
be
it's still
like,
stupid. You know what I mean? Like,
no, what I'm saying is it's one thing where a subject or a concept is very significantly qualitative, and like then you try to quantify that. Like that's one endeavor in which like you can have stupid bosses who want something that's very qualitative to become more quantitative, and then blah blah. But like this is like if you want to quantify diversity, right? You can literally already do that. Like being like, oh, do we have you know a significant number of I don't know, minority ethnicities in our group or whatever. We have significant number of like, women. And it's not just a sausage fest. Do we have
yeah, but are
more
they
blah blah?
also a minority woman who is like disabled?
Yeah. Well,
Because then
yeah.
then it becomes truly it's like
Yeah.
multiplicative, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Well, what the point I wanted to make was that you can literally do that already, and you don't need an extra formula on top of that to tell you, yes, you do indeed have black women
yeah, I mean,
on
it's just
your.
like literally
Like, you
like
don't need a formula for
it's like,
that. You can
do we
look.
have a diverse cast? It's like, have you seen the Overwatch cast? Like,
Yeah.
you could just look with your
Yeah,
eyes
exactly.
and you could see, yes, as a matter of fact, we do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I don't know.
Which I mean,
It's
again,
definitely
like one of the Overwatch devs brought up the really only point to make about it is like, yeah, do you know how we made a diverse cast in Overwatch?
You just
Because like
design the characters.
and our dev team is a diverse group of people that we used our like diverse
Yeah,
backgrounds to
lived
make these
experiences to
characters.
design the character.
Okay,
Crazy
but what
shit.
are their diversity scores
Yeah,
though?
but what are their metrics?
Yeah, exactly.
What's your score?
Yeah, what's your
Yeah.
metrics? I'm sorry, you're designing an Egyptian woman with an eye patch and missing an arm. But you're only an Egyptian straight.
You're
But what's
29
her
years old.
but
You
what's
don't
only
her
have
29
age
all
years
your
old.
score?
limbs.
What's
Yeah.
her age score?
Yeah, you're only you're also like 25, so
So you get a 1. Yeah,
you
exactly.
yeah
So
Sorry.
you're sitting at a cool
you're
you're sitting at like a
basically a cis white
9 out of
male.
100.
Yeah.
It's like the
It's
only
like
thing
it's
that's
like
making you diverse is that you're Egyptian. So really, you're worthless.
not slightly nerdy. 0 points on visuals.
Yeah.
But
Sorry, you don't
anyways.
make the cut.
I do want to know how the age score works too, because it's
Yeah, me
like,
too,
well, then
honestly.
like, do you like,
Well, it kind of
is
reminds
it
me of the
like
argument that
what's the most boring age? Is it
no,
like
no, 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 no. The
25?
reason no,
And
no,
then
no,
like
no.
10, like a fucking
No, it's not
child
about being
character
boring.
would be
It's
like
not even about being
fucking
boring. My opinion on how the age score works is like because I've heard this about like Tekken, for instance, where it's like, oh, Tekken just or like fighting games in general have all these like stupid fucking young anime girls, just cute like moe anime girls just running around with their huge boobs, and they're all like usually kids or like little like high school or like you like people in
Yeah,
their
but
like anime girls.
to be
Like
fair,
when are we
Tekken
gonna get like
players are like immensely homosexual and really only care about like old, oily men
Well,
slapping
well,
each other.
yeah.
So
Well, also, like a lot of people who are like are down on like anime fighters, like Guilty Gear and stuff like that in general,
yeah,
are like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh, where are my like 50-year-old like old hot women like milfs and stuff like that, or like with an eye patch or whatever. And it's like, I think that's pretty
yeah,
probably
they
like
just look
similar
like
to what the age
Baiken but
score is.
with gray hair. Like
Yeah, exactly.
congratulations,
And
you've
wrinkles.
done it.
Yeah.
maybe they'll give her a face line. Like,
But yeah, fucking that was my call out pretty much. Fuck
Yeah.
those, fuck people who try to like do weird diversity metric shit. That's no bueno. Anyways, last but not least, near shout out call out, please.
I'm gonna shout out. So recently, I think like 2 or 3 days ago, Mihoyo, actually, or sorry, Hoyo Verse
Hoyo
now.
verse. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the worst fucking names imaginable. Um, so Hoyo Verse, shortly after announcing that all updates to Genshin Impact are delayed, they decided that they're going to announce a new game.
Yikes.
Yeah. It's called what is this called? Fucking Zenless Zone Zero or ZZZ.
Okay.
And it looks really fucking cool. I will say. And I'm quite excited to see how this plays out because the aesthetic for this game is like it's like a mix of like um fucking Jet Set Radio and Splatoon with like
Oh.
with like anime characters. And it's really cool. And just before this got announced, like as it was like being teased, um, there was apparently some insider leaker that said it's going to have like shooter elements. But in the trailer, it kind of just looked like a brawler, like a beat 'em up kind of thing. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. But the trailer they showed looked very cool, very stylish, had a lot of really cool character designs. Um, and I'm just kind of excited to see like what they do with it.
Okay.
Because MiHoYo,
Tech
they make
otakus have truly saved the world.
yeah they make some okay games, I think. Um, Genshin's kind of a big game. So hopefully they can actually use that money for something.
Oh, can I also this
Yeah, they're
is
using it for
can
Honkai
I-
Star Rail, dude. The hottest game
Yeah,
that everyone asked for.
yeah, for sure,
Can I
for
can I
sure.
can I also like enter very quickly? And I almost want to do like an additional like bumper side call out because you mentioned Myoyo Genshin, but it's like there are a couple of people that I know like I'm interacting with that are sometimes like it's like I can't real I can't really get used to like what's up with these like anime girls with like the big titties and like the mobile games and stuff like that, and it's like they're talking about like
Yeah,
like
I
they're
can't
complaining.
possibly play Genshin Impact in front of my family. It's
No, 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 no,
I
no.
couldn't do it.
It's too
No, no, no.
shameful.
Wait, I'll get into this. It's like they're complaining about like Azure Lane, for instance. Like when it comes out, and it's like, oh, I can't believe, It's like it's not. I don't think
I
it's like
can
really excuse from.
because they're cute and people will pay for them.
Yeah, no, no. What I'm saying, it's like, oh, they're just like, oh man, they're like, it's very like, these mobile games are just like, oh, all their designs are so overblown, and it's just like anime girls with like titties and like whatever.
Yeah,
And I'm like, don't you guys play Genshin? I'm like, you guys play
Oh, they play
Genshin, right?
Genshin and they say
Yeah,
this?
yeah. I'm like,
Yeah, like look
you
in a
guys,
fucking mirror, dude.
yeah. I'm like, you guys play Genshin. You
Like
guys
the
shouldn't be
hottest new
complaining
character,
about like Azur Lane and Blue
Genshin's not
Archive,
out
right?
here like, hey guys, by the way, if you have no pities saved up, you're paying around like $200 to guarantee this character. Our new character's design, they're coming out and they're a guy in a suit, and that's their design.
yeah,
Please give us $200. Like, it's not how it works. Like,
Yeah, exactly. It's
yeah.
just like
that's why
three.
the
I mean,
fucking
just
that's why like the recent male one of the most recent male characters that came out is like fucking the like Bara almost Oni, and he's got fucking tat lines all over him. And it's like, yeah, because who the fuck like who's gonna pay for like a fucking thug in a coat? Like, cool.
I mean, just look at
Bro,
the most, or not most recent, but one of the more recent examples of Shenhe, the ice chick, in the fucking skin tight bodysuit that has windows in it. Like, yeah, uh, like overdone
kind of
anime
rocks.
designs sell because people fucking like them. It's like not
Yeah,
really
I mean, again,
not
it's like
really
I was just like,
news.
yeah. Sorry. Anyways, that's a very.
Yeah.
I apologize for the tangent. Keep
But
going.
anyway, my call out, I guess. I'm gonna make this quick. I don't want to rant.
Mhm.
Because if I start, I'm not gonna stop. But I'm gonna call out the recent really fucking cringe like drama that has arisen recently in the FF14 community.
Oh, okay.
Where people are fucking like mass reporting streamers for using like mods and plugins. Because some people are fucking butthurt that the world first racing team that did the recent Ultimate that came out had plugins visible in their world first VOD. And I guess the devs had to make a statement, and because the devs made a statement, the Japanese and the Western communities are spurging the fuck out and reporting streamers for no reason to get them banned, and it's really fucking gay. But yeah, that's it for
Very
me.
unfortunate. Anyways, thank you very much, Nier, for your shout out and call out again. Toast is unfortunately not here with us today. He had to go take care of an emergency, but obviously, hopefully, that gets resolved properly. And with that, we are finally done with our 196th episode of 4Play Animecast. We're actually coming up on 200, huh?
Yeah.
We should actually think about that because 200 is gonna, yeah, it's gonna
Yeah, that's when the
coincide
rebrand
with.
happens and we start at 0 again. Let's
Yeah,
go.
exactly. We're gonna be yeah, exactly re-zero. We're gonna actually we're gonna steal the title, by the way.
We're going back. We're gonna have
yeah, exactly.
episode 0,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then it's
The
gonna
prequel, the
be
prequel, the prequel.
yeah, it's gonna be 4PA. What is it? Chapter 2, season 1.
yeah, yeah,
We're gonna be
exactly.
like we're
With
gonna be
no,
like
with
Fortnite.
apostrophe. We're gonna just have it's gonna be like an anime sequel title, and it's gonna just have like a apostrophe or like a semicolon randomly
Yeah,
there,
we're gonna
and
throw
that's
an
our
exclamation point at the end of it, and there we go.
two
When
exclamation
we hit it
points,
again.
sir. It's like
Oh yeah,
working.
that's true. We're season 2, so we got to do 2 exclamation points.
Yeah, exactly.
Then we'll hit 3.
Oh my god. Anyways, so we'll probably try to think of something for special for episode 200.
Mukbang.
And and if yeah, so we're gonna have 2 more episodes after this for I guess the spring 22 season. After that, we're gonna go into our fall 2022 preview, or sorry, summer 2022 preview. And then after that, we're going to have to juggle, obviously, going into the summer season as well as our 200th episode. And uh, so we'll just try to keep you guys updated through social media. And if you guys like what we do, we stream our live recording of the podcast every other Saturday, starting from 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over at twitch.tv/4PlayAnimecast. That's with the numeral 4, where we talk about the latest and greatest in Japanese animation media involving anime, manga, light novels, web novels, visual novels, and so much more. So check us out here on our Twitch page. We have a recording of our podcast here as highlights, so we can check out here, as well as on our YouTube page for Play Animecast. So whichever format you desire, you can check us out on our social media as well for updates and news. Facebook for Play Animecast, as well as Twitter handle the at 4PPAnimecast, again, all with the numeral 4. So check us out here, check us out there, and as always, we'll see you next time.